Clair gonna get two. He's gonna find a third as well. It's really gonna find one, and he finds another one. Will be coming from behind. Sauce looking for third. He's gonna get it. Sauce popping off here.
He's gonna be Sinclair forced off the hill for long enough. Brandon, line him up, shut him down. That's gonna be two. He's looking for cardiac. Gonna find a few.
Alrighty, welcome everybody to St. Clair College Call of Duty. I am John Billabanks Dima, joined by Josh Fundy Pafundi today. Sorry for the long wait. We were actually waiting the game for ICC. Our opponents, they were playing in the game before us here in the bracket, so they ended up winning it 3-2. So we do have our series finally in front of us after a long wait, but it's going to be exciting. This is St. Clair. They lost to them last semester in the finals for, I believe it was NACE, or I can't remember what division it was, but regardless, they did go to the finals last year against St. Clair, so it should be a little bit of a revenge match for them.
ICC lost to St. Clair.
No. St. Clair lost to ICC
lost to ICC. So we've got the Saints finding a bit of a revenge match. But one thing to keep in mind is ICC is coming hot off of a close series. So they have been in 5 games of COD in the past hour or two here. So they're going to be nice and warmed up and ready for this series. But coming into this game, we do have the map selection here. So we're going to be coming in. Unsurprisingly, we are going to be coming into Berlin, Tuscan, and Desert Siege. We should have the slide up here in a second for you guys, and we will have the game modes as well. So Hardpoint, S&D, Control, Hardpoint, and S&D. Final if we do make it to those 4th and 5th maps. But yeah, I'm expecting a close series today. How about you,
Yeah,
John?
I think so too. I really, again, I always want to see the 5th map, because typically we see so often we have Tuscan and Berlin the first 4, and then they throw in like some crazy map in the 5th one, so it's going to be Desert Siege this time around. So I do hope we see that map number 5, because we've seen a lot of Berlin, we've seen a lot of Tuscan, and I mean, for St. Clair, it has been very, very strong. They did end up losing in the upper bracket to Davenport yesterday, 3-0. So they're coming off a bit of a loss, and it was a tough loss. Like, we were watching that game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough game.
It was definitely not the typical St. Clair. We see a lot of times there was a lot of missed shots, a lot of not trades that should have been taken that they weren't. They just really didn't. I don't know. It felt like they kind of were falling apart at the seams. So I need to see a good recovery here, because, like you said, ICC is coming off of a 5-game series that they won, so they are very, very warmed up. They're ready for this series to go. So St. Clair needs to have that prep on lockdown, because we see them so often, especially like the very beginning of Hardpoint in game number 1. They kind of get off to a little bit of a slow start until they get to that second rotation of points. They tend to struggle a lot. So I want to see them start off really well here, start warmed up, because that really could be a difference maker. If ICC gets the upper hand early on in this one, they could just steamroll that into the first map.
Yeah, for sure. And especially when you're going back to the same map over and over again. Yeah, you're on different game modes, but if ICC, let's say they come into this game hot, they're feeling good, they win that hard point on Berlin. You're going back onto Berlin. Yeah, it's for S&D, and we know how strong the Saints are in those S&D games. But when you're already feeling hot on that map, you've already got your rotations down and all of this, you can take that momentum and just shut down that second game as well. And that just gives you such a lead going into this series, and it just allows you to steamroll the rest of it.
Yeah, I think it should be interesting too, because we have map 3-4 is Tuscan, so the same thing can be said. If you win that Tuscan control, you can convert that into the Tuscan hardpoint. You could, I mean, theoretically, say one team does win on Berlin, one team is better on it, the other team may be better on Tuscan. You get to that 5th map, and that's really going to be the deciding factor. And Desert Siege, not a map that we see a lot of teams actually playing in a competitive setting. It is kind of that wrench that a lot of teams like to throw in near the end of a series just to see, because it's more of a 50-50, I feel like, for a lot of these teams. It isn't something that any team is feeling super strong or comfortable on, because we don't really see it picked up early on in series. So it should be interesting, because if we do get to that game 5, I really feel like it's going to be a huge toss-up between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, Desert Siege, like, don't quote me on this, but I doubt it's a map that many teams scrim on either. Like, I don't think any teams are really like preparing for their Desert Siege match. So it's gonna come in just a lot of teams probably going to come down to who finds the opening pick on a lot of those games if we do make it that far. But Desert Siege, it's such a wide open map too that it's so easy to see 2 or 3 players just fall while they're trying to rotate or something to some guy holding a sniper near like the train on the right side there.
Yeah.
And given that it is an S&D game too, where the bomb sites are planted, it just, I want to say it's kind of almost defender-sided because of how wide open it is.
Yeah, I feel that way as well. And I think it'd be interesting to see, does Brandon pull out the sniper? We've seen him do it so many times. Specifically on Tuscan, I really feel like he's comfortable. When you see him do it, like, once or twice on Berlin, not as often does he pull it out. And it seems like he too, like, as soon as if he doesn't find his groove there in the first 1 or 2 rounds with the sniper, he tends to just go back to the AR and just kind of default back to that position. Because obviously, if the sniper's not working, you're going to put it away. You're going to try something else. So I think for them, it'll be interesting to see if Brandon tries to stick with the sniper here on the S&D. Yeah. But we are going to hardpoint on the first map, so I got to talk about that. Berlin hardpoint. We haven't seen too much Berlin hardpoint, actually. I feel like we've seen a lot of Tuscan hardpoint, especially on map number 1. I feel like that's something that a lot of teams are super comfortable on. They really like the map, and it's very well thought of generally. So I think a lot of teams are very comfortable with that. So Berlin hardpoint plays kind of the same, but is a little bit different. So we'll see if teams maybe are more comfortable with that as well.
Yeah, I feel like we typically only see like Berlin S&D thrown into these series a lot when the map picks do end up coming out. And yeah, Berlin hardpoint, it's definitely going to be a different one to see, especially starting off on a map that the Saints, and like a map and game mode combination that the Saints just have not played as much. Once again, that's just going to play more into ICC's like readiness coming into this match, just given that they've already been playing so many games today.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that helps out a lot. We saw yesterday St. Clair, it wasn't in COD, it was in Rocket League, but they had that warm-up series. They went into number 2, and they just absolutely cleaned house. So we'll see if maybe ICC goes the same way, or if it's going to be a different story here getting into game number 1. Berlin hardpoint, going to be interesting to see if St. Clair can try and take this one into, this is lower bracket quarterfinals, so every single one of these games you got to win or you're going home. Every one of these series is going to make such a huge difference for both these teams. You have Alessio, Big Head, Hyper, and Jzerk. I believe it was Alessio, Hyper, and Jzerk. I know definitely Alessio and Jzerk were on the team that beat St. Clair last year, but it is going to be Big Head and Hyper coming in new here. First pick is going to be Big Head finding St. Clair, and Jzerk finding Priestley.
Yeah, Big Head actually found 2 there off the rip, but it's actually Saints who are going to be... Oh, it's actually Independents that are going to be... So Independents are going to be finding this hard point here. Yeah, we had a bit of a slip up there, but all good here. As now we are going to be getting more into it. But Independence, they've got control of this hardpoint, and Saints are just looking for next. But Independence already found their way in there. But it's actually Brandon who's going to find the opening pick for them. But Big Head gets in there. His shots are on point right now. His movement's on point, but it's going to be Gorilla finding him from the outside. Now it's Alessio spotting out Gorilla. And Jzerk, though, going to fall. Gorilla holding strong here, but he doesn't spot the one on his left. Still hasn't fallen, though.
St. Clair finally getting some points on the board, but again, it is that thing where Independence found that first point. They were able to hold it through. Big Head finding a 3-piece before Sauce takes him down there. Alessio with an answer back. Sauce with 2 of his own. But St. Clair, again, not really getting any objective time off of it. They had control of the point for so long, but they weren't willing to actually hop on top, and it means that they don't really get a lot of points off it. Only 6. And ICC up at 56 already. They got 40 on that first one. Absolutely huge, and that's something we talked about with St. Clair. That first point, it just really feels like they come into games and they aren't prepared at the very beginning. It takes them a couple of minutes here to go and get warmed up. And for Priestley, 05 right now, really struggling to start off this game.
Yeah, spots Big Head's legs there, but he's actually just going to drop straight onto Priestley and find the kill. Sauce also going to fall. 3 Saints falling in about 4 seconds there. However, they are going to have control of this hard point.
Brandon going to find Big Head here. They are holding this strong still. ICC able to start off this one. Some good possession, but 2 players are going to be taken down there. Independence, a 3rd on the point. Still holding strong for a second here. Tested for a sec, but no, it will be cleared off for the moment. Brandon trying to break into this point as well. Spots out Big Head, but going to be taken down by Jzerk there on the flank. And now Independence up to 78 points here. A significant lead over St. Clair. They built a lot of that off of that first point in St. Clair. Going to have to lay a long road ahead to try and get back. Gorilla going to find with the pistol, though. I mean, St. Clair going to try and claim. Yeah, they are going to get the scrap time on this one, so they will bring it back to about a 50-point difference.
Yeah. Still, though, Saints finding themselves in a tough spot here. They're only going to get a few more points off this last hard point as they got to start making their way towards the next one, but it's Independence who have found control of it already. They set up for that next point. This is going to give them a bit of a lead here, even more than they've already found. It's definitely going to be tough for Saints to find this, but Sauce finding the opening pick. He tosses the nade in. Jazerk, he's prone. What is this, under a stair here?
It's a very interesting spot. I don't think I've seen this one before.
spot.
He's actually on point 2. Oh, Jazerk going to have to go prone here. Will be able to get away, but won't be able to escape the trade. Gorilla going to find Big Head here, but Pirates over 100 points now, have that 60-point lead built up. Really going to find one on the side. We see St. Clair. They're doing a good job pushing in a point here, but Hyper on the outside is causing problems for them. They can't actually push in. Finally going to take it down by Brandon there. St. Clair going to try and pick up this point, but ICC actually going to try and come back and push them off. Aren't going to allow them to get too much scrap time here. Big Egg going to find Brandon there. Means that St. Clair not really going to get too much done here at the end. And ICC going to get the scrap time for themselves.
Yeah, St. Clair just losing the gunfights where they need to win. And that really just shows just how hot Independence is coming off of that win there. They're not trying to make this loser's bracket run end here. Brandon, though, he's able to trade one back. And it's actually 3 kills on the board there for the Saints, giving them a little bit of time to work with.
I was going to say, Priestley was sitting at 2-11 there. Gorilla sitting at 12-5 right now. It's weird because we talked about Gorilla, how strong he is on certs. That's why he was brought into the program. But, I mean, normally Priestley, we see him pop off on hardpoint, but he's really been struggling this game. Can't find the trades. Can't get the picks through, and it's causing a lot of problems for St. Clair. Still a 60-point, 70-point gap now for the side of Independence. And St. Clair, I mean, they're doing pretty decent defending these points, but they can't really get themselves any kind of big time, and they really need to find that, because being down so much, you need to find a full 60 somewhere to even draw this close to even.
Yeah, you definitely have to find that full 60, because as long as this lead keeps getting larger for Independence, I mean, yeah, you can tag 4 or 5 seconds at the end of this hard point, but then Independence just gets to set up on the next one, and they almost guarantee themselves like 40 seconds of points there once they finally set up, because Saints just cannot make their way in. It seems like this capture point is constantly in control of Independence.
Yeah,
Jazerk
like,
trying to fight his way out, but he's not able to. Saints are finally going to grab control of this halfway through, a lot quicker than they have on some of the more recent ones. 2 kills going to allow them to do that, and now they're just going to try and hold this.
They've been able to hold it for quite a while. It's a really good hold. As ICC struggling to break in here, and they definitely needed this one. They need to get some objective time back in their favor, and they're able to hold on for quite a while. We see ICC not really sure where they want to go. They're going to send one here to challenge on point. Big Ed going to take out Priestley there. Going to spot another. Jazerk trying to make it up here, but will be taken down. Brandon going to be able to hold this point strong. Going to get a lot of scrap time for St. Clair, but still a long way to go. Still a 70-point difference here between these teams. So, again, St. Clair, they're able to do a pretty good job holding that point, but still, you're down so significant. You need to take at least 1 or 2 more of these and hold them just as strong as that one to try and get yourself back in this game.
Yeah, Priestley, he had control of it there, but being that he was alone, he actually opts to just rotate off the side, try to get a better angle, but it's Jazerk on the side who's going to find him. Gorilla with the trade out. But still, it's Independence who's got control of this hard point. They're just going to keep racking up the points here. They are doubling Saints' score right now. 27 seconds left on this hard point. Gorilla finds the opening pick, as now the Saints should be able to make something happen, but Jazerk trying to deny it as much as possible. Priestley finds the kill onto him. That should be a good 15 seconds for the Saints now.
Yeah, it looks like they will mostly get the scrap time. I mean, at this point, ICC, you are kind of willing to just say, okay, like, we don't need to get the scrap time, we need to fight them for it. We're just going to set up for this next hard point. You see all 4 members of the side of ICC here going to be defending this one for themselves. Going to have set up really, really good positioning here. Brandon getting caught out by that player underneath. Alessio and Hyper going to find one for themselves. And that's 4 down for St. Clair. Independence going to clean house there, and we'll be able to keep racking up this objective time and approaching the 200-point marker. St. Clair needs to start making some good breaks, needs to start getting themselves into these points, because every single one of these seconds is really going to matter for Independence.
Yeah, when you're the Saints, you can't be losing these gunfights, and you also can't be getting caught off guard like that on these rotations. Brandon, though, going to catch Independence off guard as he finds the kill onto Hyper there. Big Head also going to fall. Alessio going to find the kill, though, onto Brandon, as Gucci Gang Sauce going to fall for a second there as well. But
Yeah,
the
I think
control.
this is going to be really tough. You're down 100 points. St. Clair going to get a
Yeah.
little bit of scrap time at the end, but I really feel like, Independence can really just play for their scrap time, really can find. They only really need a couple more of these points. They only need a little bit of time on this one. St. Clair, almost impossible to try and come back from this one because even this couple seconds they're getting at the beginning, this one is going to make such a huge difference. And it really started for me, I feel like, that first point, the fact that they were able to open up with 45 points in their favor, St. Clair just really couldn't find any footing here. Priestley especially, 9 and 22 right now, just not the entry fragger we're used to seeing out of him. He's really been struggling. Gorilla trying to step up here, 20 and 15 for St. Clair, but unfortunately it just isn't going to be enough here. Down 100 points here. Brandon finds a two-piece here, looking for a third. He's going to find it on Alessio there, so Brandon going to get a three-piece, can look for a four, but no. Big Head going to shut him down, and ICC is still holding this point strong. St. Clair finally can at least get somebody on it, but I mean, at this point it's almost insurmountable.
Yeah, Saints, they've been able to stop many of the points from being grabbed from the Pirates. They've only grabbed about 10 from this hard point here, but when you've got a 100-point lead like that, you're more so focusing on just not letting the Saints grabbing any points than you getting them yourself, as you can just play down the time here as well. But the next hard point is up, and Sauce able to find an opening pick, but it's Independence who's got control of the hard point. There's 25 points left. This game is all but over for the Saints.
Yeah, I definitely think as a Saints, you're starting to think about that next map. You're going to try and play this out as best you can, but unfortunately, a 100-point difference is going to be almost impossible to come back from. It would be a miracle if St. Clair can do this. But right now, ICC in full control of this game. They've really just been, finding every frag, finding those trades, and St. Clair just not able to really do a great job of defending these positions that Independence takes. Independence able to break into these points pretty easily and able to hold them for a significant amount of time. And St. Clair, despite the fact that they find picks, they don't really turn it into objective time, which has been the big difference between these two teams.
The problem is they're finding picks on like random spots in the map that are not really close to or even even remotely connected to the objective, as the three other players who they didn't find are just holding that objective, racking up the points. Look at the time there on Jazerk, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Alessio up there with 55 seconds. Just so much time on this objective for Independence. Saints, though, they've got control of this one to start, and it's actually Brandon who shuts down 2, trying to push onto the point. He does not find Alessio. Hyper and Alessio trying to push onto the site here.
Jazerk, Hyper, Big Head going to try and push in towards this one, try and get a break, but St. Clair holding strong for the moment. Sauce can hit one, but Hyper and Big Head going to trade right back, and get two of their own. Going to find Gorilla here, not going to be able to get the pick. Hyper going to find Priestley as well. That's going to be Independence breaking into this point, and this might just be it if they can hold this one for just a couple seconds longer. 16 seconds left on this point. Big Head and Jays are going to get two of their own. Big Head going to find another one onto Sauce, and that is going to be it here. Independence going to take map number 1 in style. Going to smoke out St. Clair there. Does say St. Clair College, but it actually is Independence winning that one over, and a pretty solid victory for Independence. I really didn't feel like at any point throughout that game St. Clair was doing well. I think Independence just shut down everything they wanted to do.
Yeah, it just came down to these individual gunfights. Independence was just winning them more, and you can see that from the stat line. Big Head up there with 35 kills. Big Head was finding so many off angles that you'd see Brandon or Priestley or any of these guys slide by and peek one angle, and Big Head is just in the opposite corner, finding those shots in the back, and that just gives them so much time to work with to grab these points, because oftentimes we would see Sauce run onto one of the points that had just spawned, and he would take 1 or 2 out on his own, but now he's sitting here with no support as the rest of ICC just starts rotating out to him, and he ends up getting 5 seconds worth of points and falling, and then ICC grabs the rest of the hard point.
Yeah, I really feel like for me too, the fact that Priestley was sitting there at 2-11 at one point was really struggling at the beginning of that game. And we saw, I think for me, again, it is St. Clair's weakness, is this very first point on rotation. On hardpoint, they just seem to struggle so much at the beginning of these games. And when you put yourself in a 45-point hole to start off the game, you feel like you're working up a mountain for the entire time. And every single decision you make, we see them so many times, they break into a hardpoint and then they don't take good positions on it. They're kind of just scrambling. They're looking at every entryway. They're swinging too much. And you saw ICC, when they hop on a point, they're very controlled. They know what points they need to cover. They know where in the rotation they are. They know what positions they need to be at. And I feel like they just kind of had this calmness about them when they took it. They were able to cover each other very, very well. They were able to get trades through, and I think St. Clair should take a page out of their book and try and recover here on Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it seemed like Saints, oftentimes they would try to grab that hard point, and we'd see them rotate off the hard point, actually lose control of it, and try to take some, I guess, more unexpected angles and unexpected gunfights for the side of ICC, hoping to just catch them off guard. But when ICC is just set up like steadfast on there, clearly, I mean, you can tell they're just on their game right now. They're hot off that other series win, right? Their shots are on point. You're not going to be out shooting these players like that. So you got to try and set up and just hold those angles.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to be heading into Berlin again here, and you talked about the fact that you're going back-to-back maps on Hardpoint Search. Yes, it is 2 different modes, but it's the same map, it's the same idea. So it'll be interesting to see if St. Clair can try and find a way back here, try and tie up this series, because that looked, yes, I think the points got a little bit more even throughout the later parts of that game, but I think, it was all ICC there. I felt like there just wasn't a point where St. Clair really grabbed control of that game. It's not like it was like 250 to 97 or something where they completely wiped them, but at the same time, it was just every point with St. Clair, you found some scrap time. You got maybe 1 or 2 that I felt like they were in control of, but a lot of them it was just like St. Clair grabbing scrap time and ICC grabbing the majority of those points.
Yeah, I want to say like probably 90 of St. Clair's, like, what did they get? Like 130, 140
It was
points.
like 170. They actually got a decent amount.
They actually did like rally at the end there. But yeah, I want to say like 90 of those points were just, ICC allowing them to have that 10-15 seconds of scrap time at the end while they go and set up on the next point to now hold that for another 45 seconds and then repeat the cycle. And, you're just getting outvalued at that point by these rotations from ICC.
And I really want to point out, too, there was a couple times there where ICC would have that key setup, and then you'd have Hyper kind of running in the back and preventing St. Clair from getting any good spawns. Really smart play by him, because it's trust in your teammates, right? Because you're leaving the point in a 3v4 scenario here. You're covering the flank, which doesn't get touched that often. But the difference maker is that, like, you are kind of not holding the point specifically. You are just preventing the other team from spawning. So if your teammates, start getting picked off, then the other team's going to get it. It's not going to matter where they spawn, right?
Yeah.
But if you guys are winning those gunfights, you can send someone to prevent good spawns. And then it means St. Clair is starting at such a disadvantage that breaking into that point becomes so much more difficult.
Yeah, and that's what you said. Like, Hyper on those spawns, that's the player that Saints are finding picks on, but it doesn't really matter because he's already being sent off as the extra player to go try and make those plays and just give them that extra value while the rest of the players are getting that objective time and stacking it up on the site. It's just eventually you're going to lose to that. Eventually they're just going to take those 250 points and run with it.
I think Gorilla really was popping off in that match. I had almost 2 KD at some point, so he was doing really, really well. And it's not something we typically see. Typically we see Priestley is the one who's popping off on respawn modes, but this time really struggled. Gorilla doing really, really well. And now going into the search, we need to see St. Clair step up here, try and get the ICC's level, because if they can find a way to win these gunfights that they were losing in the hardpoint, it's going to make such a huge difference, especially in a mode like Search. And it'll be interesting to see if Brandon pulls out the sniper here, because he was doing pretty well for himself there in the hardpoint. So we'll see how confident he's feeling going into the Search.
Yeah, we did see him pull out the sniper on the Search a couple days ago, and the Saints were actually able to bring that game back from, they were down 2 rounds, and then they just swept 6 straight in a row, and were able to find that. And a lot of those kills did come from picks with Brandon on the sniper. But yeah, you can't forget about the Saints having Gorilla on there. He's, always pops off in Search, but going back to what you said, he was popping off in Hardpoint. A couple days ago, he dropped 45 in a Hardpoint game, which, definitely very, very, he's feeling good right now. And if Priestley is kind of off his game right now, it's going to be tough for Gorilla to try and almost compensate for that. But,
this is the time.
He seems to be doing it.
This is the time to step up too for all these players. You're in, this is do or die. You're in the lower bracket, so you need to win these series to move on to the NACE Star League playoffs. It is, and you're very far. Like, this is the lower quarterfinals, so you only got 2 more series left before you do reach that. The grand final. So teams, this is the time to step up. It is going to be Search and Destroy here on Berlin again. Looks like it is going to be Independence starting off on attack here. St. Clair going to be starting off on the defense.
Yeah, Independence. It's going to be, I believe that was Big Head there with the bomb. Yep. They're going to be making their way over to this A site, actually. 3 players from the Saints going straight over to B, because that is typically the site that we see a lot of teams default to on Berlin. Oh, Brandon's able to find one with the sniper. What an angle through the destructible part on the map. He's able to find that.
Brandon also finds Jazerk here. Now a 4v2 scenario bomb. This does get planted there. Alessio going to find Gorilla as well, trying to push on that, trying to prevent that bomb. Now a 4v3 here. Brandon has the sniper, is watching this long angle, waiting for someone to pop into his view. Sauce going to find Alessio, though. It's going to be a 3v1. Just going to be Hyper, the only one left standing here. 24 seconds left on that bomb. Precinct the shot, trying to go for the defuse. Tries to get in here, but Brandon going to take out Hyper, popping into point. That is going to be St. Clair taking round number 1 in search.
Yeah, Brandon finding 3 kills that round. 2 of them being with the sniper. Very, very nice to see. And immediately off that first round, we're seeing the value coming out from the sniper with these long angles on Berlin. Regardless of which site you go to, the sniper is strong on Berlin.
Really smart choice there too. I believe he picked up someone else's gun at the end of, like near the end of that round, or even on the way to that point. So, because I think if he doesn't have that MP, I think he really does struggle, because he's going to be stuck on the pistol trying to fight the guy that has a gun right in front of that point. So, good job by Brandon. Good awareness by him. Now sitting at 3-0. And I mean, it is early on, and those 3 kills, but you can start thinking about streaks coming in soon, because if he has a good round here, definitely possibility of that happening.
Yeah, and we're seeing Saints on attack. They started sending it over to B, but they're actually just going to try and take control of this middle building here. Specifically, this right part of it towards the B side. Priestley actually doesn't spot anyone on the jump, but he's going to be spotted through the door, and it's Alessio who finds the opening pick onto Priestley. Now with 3 lives remaining, it's going to be Brandon trading it back, evening out the player counts now as Alessio. He's on a bit of a rotation here, but Gorilla quicker on the trigger as he is going to find the second kill for the Saints. And now the Saints have options here. They're going to rotate over to B with the bomb, but it's actually Gorilla who's almost baiting a bit near A. All ICC players are thinking it's definitely an A hit here, but the bomb is being planted at B.
Yeah, that was just bad timing for Jazerk. Unfortunately, rotated right as St. Clair was pushing on towards site. Bomb is down, 3v2 scenario. Gorilla holding really far back on the flank here is going to be Brandon, and Sauce going to be trying to hold a little bit closer.
Gorilla, they're not going to be expecting this. He's coming all the way from the back, but
this is huge.
Hyper's already on the bomb site, but it's going to be Sauce who's holding it from the train cart area here. This is the angle we've seen so often on this map, and there it is. St. Clair College going to be finding the picks with that post plant setup. That is the second round heading over to them. This is the Saints we know on SND.
And the important thing too here, Brandon already on 5, so he's getting really close to that streak, to that glide bomb, to try and take advantage of it. Really good job there so far playing his life. This is going to be a very important round for him, though. He has to keep this streak going. Try and find streaks early, because streaks are so important in search, right? Because you don't have any respawns. You only have that 1 life. So if you're able to find 1 pick for free, at least with that streak, it is absolutely massive. ICC back on the attack, looking to go towards A here. St. Clair, again, 3 stacking towards B, waiting for this attack. Sauce going to push through here. There's a player above him. Doesn't know he's there, though. Doesn't spot a Hyper either in that window. Alessio just waiting here. He's going to move forward, but bomb plant going to go down on A. 4 alive for each side.
It's very interesting that A site is actually, seems like the default for Independence. I mean, typically we just don't see teams go there unless it's like a later round rotation that ends up coming out. But 30 seconds left until this bomb explodes, and the Saints are going to have to start making their way over to this A site.
They got to hurry up. They don't have any time for the waste here. Gorilla going to find one on Alessio, but you got to start pushing in. Brandon going to find Big Head. Jays are going to trade back on him, though. It is 13 seconds remaining. They have to go for this bomb. Priestley going to find one. There's still 1 player remaining, though. Jays are going to take him out with a nade. A diffuse is going to be close. I think he has time. I think it's going to be really close. He might have time.
6 seconds.
Oh, this is going to be close.
7.5 seconds, actually.
He gets it. St. Clair with 0.5 seconds remaining. Going to take that 3rd round. Holy smokes, that was close, but that Jazerk nade almost ended the game. Almost ended that round. That was insane.
0.5 seconds. If all it took was Gorilla to miss the bomb for a sec, all it took was for him to like not see where it was and have to like quickly take another step forward, and that round would have been done and dusted. But it's Saints now taking 3 rounds with the lead. They're going to find themselves on attack now, rushing straight back over to this middle building, taking once again this map control that we saw in their first attacking round.
I think Brandon also did find the streak there, so very important to be able to get that one here. St. Clair, a little bit of hesitation on the attack. We see a 3-stack here on A site. Interesting to see how both teams play it, right? We see St. Clair 3-stack B site, ICC 3 stacks A site to start off these rounds, and both teams just waiting it out, playing this a little bit more patiently. St. Clair, not quite sure where they want to go yet. Haven't found a pick. There is Jzerk on B site here. Priestley looking for one in the window.
Yeah, he did spot Alessio quickly there, and he is going to find first blood onto him as Alessio tries to re-peek. Sauce, he's going to be dashing around these bullets right now, but it's Jzerk going to fall off the trade out of Sauce, not after he finds Brandon, though. Hyper coming in to stop this defuse, and Sauce is going to fall. That is bomb on site, but it's actually planted. Did get that off, so now it's Priestley in this post-plant situation. On the 2v2, Gorilla all the way on the other side of the map looking for these, but Priestley, one's about to come behind him. Big Head able to find that, and Hyper's just going to stick the defuse. Gorilla, he's not going to be able to make it, and that is going to be ICC taking it with the bomb defused. Gorilla, where are you at? You're too far away.
Yeah, really key here was, unfortunately, Priestley getting caught out. Gorilla just, I mean, you want to play that big flank, right? But the problem is you're taking too long because you're on the other side of the map. You can't get back for that defuse in time. And St. Clair, you're going to lose that first round in search for this one. Gorilla still on that 3 streak, though, so kept that going. At least something back for St. Clair. Now going to be on the defensive side. Independence, good that they found their first round there. It was a pretty messy round, to be honest, but they were able to get it. I think that fact that they were able to find that pick, because like he saw him in that window and actually called out to a teammate to help. Oh, Priestley and Gorilla gonna find 2 really early picks here. St. Clair, a lot faster pace in this round. Already find a 4v2 advantage.
Yeah, Saw so close to one in this building, but it's Priestley who's gonna find Jzerk there after he tries to make his way out. And now Hyper, he's on this long flank, but the bomb is down, and they're just gonna be holding it. Hyper able to find one on the other side of the map is now he's going to rotate out. Just try and catch some off guard, but he's got 45 seconds to work with. He has time to do something, but when you're going up into a 1v3 there, the firing squad is going to be ready for you, and that is now 4-1 for the Saints in this S&D game.
Yeah, I think that one, you can't really play it out because they're 3 stacking all on the bomb, so basically no way to win that one. Priestley finding the shots there, and again, Brandon keeping that streak going. I think he's at 4 or 5 now, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's at 4 right now. So, still trying to build that one up. We know Brandon has one in his back pocket right now. So, St. Clair finding the advantage here for the moment. And up 4-1, the fact that you have a streak already going for you and you have Gorilla building up towards zone, could spell disaster for Independence.
Yeah, Hyper trying to take a little angle through the fence there, but those are the little angles that you can find on Berlin that you just don't really see on a lot of other maps. But it's Sauce going to find the opening pick. Alessio trading it back on the A site. Sauce trying to move his way in here, but going to be peppered with bullets through this door. Going to make it out with his life, though, as now Hyper moving back, taking more of a defensive stance as Jzerk is going to rotate over. But there's 3 players still left from the Saints, and they've got 50 seconds. They're just going to opt to run straight to B. Sauce making his way over as ICC now reading the play. And it's going to be Hyper who's rotating over to B, but he's going to be met with some resistance from Sauce.
Not this again. No.
Sauce, don't try to plant this bomb. Hyper, he's not going to do it in time, though. The bomb, was it planted? The defuse is going to come out immediately, but it's Priestley through the door.
Really smart play there by St. Clair. And again, Sauce sacrificing his life to get that bomb plant down. It is successful, and this time Priestley is going to be able to get Hyper going for that defuse through the door. And St. Clair going to go to game point here. So 5-1 advantage here. Brandon still has that streak available for himself as well. So St. Clair, the Gorilla unfortunately did lose the streak there, but Priestley going on a 4 streak. I think he found 3 in that round. So really good job there so far. And I mean, we talked about how good St. Clair looked on Search and Destroy, and they're showing how good they really are here in this game number 2 of the series.
Yeah, I mean, we know S&D is probably the strongest, if not one of Saints' strongest modes here, and it is definitely showing. They are bringing the fight back to ICC after, you know, just a bit of a rough hardpoint game for them. They find the first blood once again. Brandon This Automaton long range just absolutely shreds.
3v3 or 3v4 scenario here. ICC losing Jzerk early on. Alessio going to finally trade him back though. Sauce going down. Grenade going to come through. Not going to be able to kill him just yet though. Bomb is down on A site, so St. Clair has to try and push in here. They have 2 stacked up. They have 1 playing this long angle. Alessio trying to hold this one. 3 coming in for St. Clair. Hyper going to find 1 here. Not going to get traded out either. There's going to be 1 coming through. Gorilla finally get him on the backside. 13 seconds remaining. St. Clair has to go for this defuse sometime soon. Alessio waiting for someone to come through the stairs. Gorilla going to find him. There's only 1 player left, but there's no time for this defuse, and that's going to mean Independence probably going to win this one. Want to pop out here. Gorilla going to trade, but it's not going to matter. Good job being able to defend that bomb. And that's going to mean Independence going to take a round back from St. Clair.
Yeah, great hustle by Independence. The default A hits, just unexpected. Brandon, he's the only one there for the defense, and while he tries his best to get the defuse off, Big Head not even spotted by Gorilla as he runs through, and they are going to find that second round here, denying the match point round from the Saints, but the Saints still have a decent lead built up 3 rounds ahead.
It is going to be St. Clair going back onto the attack here. Up 5-2 right now in the series. Trying to find this game. Trying to put it to a 1-1 series state. St. Clair, again, playing this slow game. There's one really far pushed up here. Jzerk has a very good aggressive position here. Is he going to catch Sauce out? No, Sauce is going to know he's there. Good job checking that corner. It's going to be St. Clair finding that first kill untraded. Sauce going to get the bomb down very quickly as well. Alessio going to find Gorilla on the other side of the map, though. That's a huge pick for them. That means the flank is going to be susceptible here for St. Clair. Branding is spotted out on top of that train by Hyper as well. From a 4v3 to a 3v2 almost instantly. 1 going to be behind here. Priestley going to find him here. Not going to get traded out by Big Head either. So now a 2v2. This is very doable now. Priestley, you know where he is. Going to spot out Big Head. Can't get the shots through. Chips him down. Big Head still somehow alive here. They have to wait and recover some HP. 21 seconds remaining. They have to get on the site quick.
Yeah, Sauce still on site. He didn't have to trade out his life for the plant that time. Now he's going to spot Alessio.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, what a shot. The headshots from Alessio going to take down Sauce quicker than he can find him. Alessio 7-7 right now. Big plays for ICC as they now find themselves 5-3, trying to claw their way back in this search game.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane that he was able to find that headshot there. And just that final bullet able to find the head. That is going to be 5-3. And now St. Clair, you're going to start getting a little bit worried here. Yes, you do have the advantage in this game, like, pretty significantly. You have, I believe Brandon still has that streak in his back pocket, just waiting to be used. But regardless, Independence finally finding 2 rounds for themselves. Absolutely massive for them. And see how this one shapes up. Alessio not going to be spotted out there in the far range. Looks like they are going to be going towards A site here yet again for the default plant. And St. Clair, again, just going to give it up.
Yeah. This time, though, we actually have Sauce on the rotation. Typically, we just see Brandon there this early game, but Sauce finding the opening pick. The bomb is going to go down, however. Sauce cooking a frag to toss into here, but it's Hyper on the flank. Going to find 1. Brandon trades him back. Big Head finding Priestley elsewhere. It's now a 1-on-2 for Brandon.
Opts into this one. One's behind him, one's in front of him. He can find this kill without being traded. It'd be absolutely massive. Gonna get spotted out though. Has to try and run. Try and find this player in the back. Big Head all the way back towards bomb site Brandon. They have to defend this bomb. There's only 13 seconds. They have to try and go for this. He has to try and go for this defuse very soon. He's not gonna have time for it. He's just gonna end up running away. Big Head gonna get him on the outside. Independence gonna find another round, and St. Clair is gonna start getting worried. You're giving up too many rounds here. 3-0 for Independence. You gotta finish up this game and seal the deal before they find any more momentum.
Yeah, Independence mounting the comeback right now. They've kind of just caught on to a lot of the spots that the Saints play. The pre-fires are coming out. We saw the STG get pulled out by Hyper to be able to take down Brandon, which, honestly, that was great to see. A gun that wasn't the Automaton or the MP40 whipped out. Nice to just see some stuff changed up. So, Saints, though, they're heading straight back over to this B site once again. 2 players from ICC going to be making it towards this middle building, and it's Jzerk who's going to fall first. Big Head making his way in, but Gorilla's already found his way up the stairs. Big Head might actually find his way behind Gorilla right now, but Gorilla seems he's got the ears there.
Priestley
Priestley finds him.
Yeah, it is going to be a 4v2 now. Sauce going to be on point here. Shot's going to come through, but not going to be able to just take out Hyper yet. Hyper pushing forward here. Going to find Sauce, but on the other side of the map, Brandon found Alessio. Now it's going to be a 3v1 scenario. Bomb is down on B site here, but he's not going to be able to do it. St. Clair going to clean it up there. Going to be able to take it in 10 rounds. A couple of nervous moments there, but St. Clair going to be able to seal it up in the end. Good job by them. And now evening up the series at 1 apiece.
This is much more what we expected from St. Clair coming into this search game. But I mean, ICC, they started showing promise near the end there. For sure. They found, what was that, 3 rounds in a row for themselves. And even fairly close on the last round, although did find themselves in a 1v3 situation. And you don't win those a lot in COD, to be honest.
Definitely not. It is going to be 1-1 on the Berlins. We are going to be moving into Tuscan Control here, a map that I feel St. Clair very, very strong on. I feel like their Berlins aren't as strong nearly as their Tuscans. And I mean, to be fair, a lot of teams are really comfortable on Tuscan. It is probably the most played map that I've seen so far in Collegiate. So definitely one that both teams are going to be comfortable playing on. But St. Clair, they've found that search. They've found some momentum in their favor. They're able to win that game. And now I think for me, like looking at that hard point, it really felt like Independence completely controlled it. This search, St. Clair kind of lost it a little bit near the end of that one, but they were able to recover, able to take that final round. And now you're at an even, you're at 1-1, you're moving into this control. And I think St. Clair has looked pretty good on Tuscan. Their control hasn't looked amazing so far in this season, but I definitely think for them, at least they're playing on a map they're very, very comfortable with control-wise.
Yeah, and you've got 2 Tuscan games ahead of you. So, like we said, finding one game on the map and then moving into the next one, while ICC couldn't exactly find it here going into that S&D game, Saints, they could feel pretty confident should they find this Tuscan Control game. But keep in mind, Tuscan Control is the map that actually sent them into this losers bracket in that Davenport game. So it's definitely one of those maps that can go either way.
Yeah.
And we have seen the Saints on it before, but that, I believe it's the B site on Tuscan, or the B control point. Very, very tough to grab. It's the one with that pillar in the middle there.
Yeah.
Very tough to try and grab for either team. And honestly, it just seems often the defenders just take it on Tuscan Control.
I think for me, you really got to try and find, because the whole thing is, for defense is obviously the favorite side on control, and we changed I think it was like a couple weeks ago, where instead of the kill count giving you the defense, it's now the tick count. So if you get ticks on, if you get the most ticks throughout the first 4 rounds on these objectives, then you get the defensive side for that final round, which is absolutely pivotal. So I feel like St. Clair, they're really good at playing for the objective on this one. I feel like they know how to play around these objectives. They know what they need to do. I think their gunfights, they tend to struggle a little bit. Their trades a little bit more. So I think if you can play that objective game really, really well, at least get some progress on B, it'd be absolutely massive to try and find that round 5 if you end up going there.
Yeah, for sure. And I honestly, I am a big fan of hitting that B site first.
I like
to
it
try
too.
and find it, because the A site, it's very easy to hold once you have it in comparison to B. And a lot of teams just don't expect teams to just 4-man it B right at the starting of the round. So if you can find like even 1 or 2 ticks at the starting there, that I'd say that sets you up for a lot of success later into that control round.
Because it's so difficult to try and take, you can do what most teams typically do, which is just run straight A, take advantage of the fact you have very favorable spawns, and then you're playing with 2.5 minutes to try and take B site. But I think any kind of progress on B is so much more significant than on A, right? Because if you take B, if you're probably going to struggle to take it, but if you end up taking it, you have at least a minute that you get from taking that to try and take A, and we've seen how easy it is for teams to take it. So I think for me, B is more risk reward at the beginning, because realistically, you're probably going to lose more lives than you're going to be taking from the other team. But A site is easier to take. So I'd like to see teams go for that more risk reward play style, where if you take B site early, A is a lot more of a cakewalk for you.
Yeah, I think if you can take B site early, I feel like the round is yours at that point, especially as an attacker. You just get onto that A site, you hold it down, and you've got so much time available now to take the easier site.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that one. And I think St. Clair, pretty good search overall. I think they played their roles excellently. I think they had really good positioning, good trades. I think the key was, though, in a couple of those rounds that they lost near the end, they were able to find that initial first pick, but they weren't able to turn it into a round, which I think super important thing in search, obviously, but I think in control as well. The early picks make such a huge difference in these rotations, and I really want to see St. Clair turn those initial advantages they have into more solidified objective victories. So we are going to be getting into game here sometime soon. Don't know exactly when. Oh, perfect. So we're going to be going into game very, very soon. And I think for me, St. Clair, I think you need to start off early. I don't know whether they're going to be starting on attack or defense, but I really want to see them play that objective and go for that more risk reward on B, because I think if they can find some kind of really, really big advantage here early on for them, I think it'd be absolutely huge, because I feel like ICC did get some momentum near the end of that search to try and move into this control.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said, the early picks, so important. But here, we're just going to get the lobby reset up once again. We all know how Call of Duty gets.
Big time.
But yeah, finding those early picks in the control games are so important, because not only does it give you time to get much better positioning onto these points, but finding a 4 or 5 life lead, if you can just be able to run with that and just even if you're just trading 1-for-1 for essentially the rest of the game, eventually during that round you will have the life lead, and eventually the other team's going to be down to 3-4 lives, and that's when they have to start really thinking about what gunfights they want to take, because every gunfight is so valuable that they do not want to lose it.
Because when you start getting down in lives that late, you really end up like your team starts panicking. You're like, okay, where do we want to attack? How do we want to go for this one? Do we want to send someone, to go for a flank? Or can we afford to send someone to go for a flank? Because stuff like that, if it fails, if you're at 10, 13, 15 lives, it's not such a big deal. But if you're at like 4, 5, 6 lives, then that one person is going to take away a respawn from one of your teammates. So it's really interesting to see how these teams will play it out and whether or not they'll go for that more risk play style or if they'll just go for something standard. And I mean, overall, I think we can talk about, we have a second here until the lobby resets, but yeah, we can talk about ICC. The fact that St. Clair ended up losing to them in the finals, like not only did they lose to them in the finals last year, I believe it was NACE if I'm not mistaken, but they played them in winners finals and then they lost. They went down to losers bracket. They went back up and they lost again. And I think both series they won maybe like 1 or 2 games. So ICC was just completely, absolutely like dominant in those series. Like it wasn't even like St. Clair. I think they won like maybe a search and a control or something. But like everywhere else, ICC was just sweeping them completely. So it's good to see that at least St. Clair putting up a pretty good fight here in this series.
Yeah, they were able to take it 1-1, but on these respawn modes, though, ICC definitely very, like you had said, calm on the hard points, but also just very coordinated, constantly finding the trades out for their teammates, and it seems like the comms are just on point for them right now. But now we are finally getting into this control game here on Tussin. Almost said search again, but we are going to be getting into this, and yeah, first of all, I'm looking to see who finds these opening picks.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be important here. We'll see which team is on the attack and on the defense in 1 second. And I think, again, if a team can find an attacking round, it is so vital, because defense, especially on Tuscan, is just so strong because B is very defender favorite. It is really hard to actually take an attacking round. You can make some kind of progress, but it's tough. And we're going to see a 4-stack on A side here for both sides. Alessio going to find the first pick on Priestley. Brandon going to trade right back onto him. Going to try and find a second, but no, Jays are going to take him out. It's going to mean St. Clair going to start off attacking A side. So they do have someone on here. It is going to be contested by Jazerk. Moving on, Gorilla going to find Hyper on the other side. Bigga going to take down Gorilla in a trade. And St. Clair still contested here on this hard point. Can't really get progress going. And a little bit of a struggle here to start us off.
Yeah, it's Sauce in this corner here who's keeping the contest alive, as he's going to be actually chasing Jazerk off the zone, who's going to find a kill of his own onto Priestley before being taken down by Sauce. Sauce now should be able to find this first tick so long as it's not contested. There's the first tick found, but lives are looking pretty even right now. B point also being grabbed by Priestley alone there, which is going to be forcing Alessio and Hyper there to start rotating over, and it's Priestley does not find the first point onto
But importantly, they had
there
to send 2 people over to B site for the trade, which means St. Clair able to take control of A, and we see Jazerk maybe looking for a pick or 2, but they've pretty much given up on A here. You can see maybe they'll throw a couple more lives at it. Yeah, just going to be one coming in. Jazerk going to try and find anything. Doesn't. St. Clair going to 4-stack on A, and they will take it. Now 2 minutes and 11 seconds to try and take B. They didn't end up getting a point with that, or they didn't end up getting a tick with that play, but they were able to at least force Independence off of that one.
Yeah, they force him off of that one, and Independence, during that time, is able to get rid of the tick on B. So that is going to reset the Saints back down to nothing on B. So now, here is where we saw the downfall of Saints last night in that game against Davenport. Can they make it here against ICC? This B point is so hard to capture on control. With lives being exactly even now, you got to find this point. The objectives... It seems like lives are not how you're going to win in this match right now if you are the Saints. So Brandon finding a nice little angle there to be able to find Big Head from above. But now they got to make a 4-man push onto this to really find it. And with 2 picks now down, it could be possible.
But you can see how much hesitation they have here. Hyper going to be sitting here waiting for someone to come through, but St. Clair going to spot him out. Try and push towards B here. They have 3 moving forward. They're going to put one. Sauce going to fly into that point. He's going to take it out. Alessio going to find another one on the backside, and St. Clair's push going to be stifled for the moment. They have Gorilla kind of holding this flank angle so no one can come up through there, but he isn't able to actually push onto point just yet. Going to try and find some more here on the backside. Jazer can be looking for this flank, though, waiting for Gorilla with open arms. Gonna move forward here. Gorilla not going to spot him out. Going to go all the way back to that angle. And again, St. Clair going to hop onto this point. Gorilla, Sauce, and Brandon going to find 3. They're going to collapse onto this point. Just going to be 1 left. Jazer going down. That's a 4 for St. Clair. All 4 down for Independence. They're going to be able to take this point. Gorilla going to find another one there. Absolutely popping off, and out of nowhere, Gorilla on a 5 spree. St. Clair going to get 2 ticks of progress, looking for a 3rd. There's 1 coming back here, but not going to be able to hold it for a second. Jazer going to find 2 for himself. Can he defend this? No. Sauce going to take him out. Hyper going to get back on that one. St. Clair's push gets stopped, but look at the lives now. 10-4, and St. Clair with 2 ticks on B. This might be their round.
St. Clair, I think if they just take all 4 players, try to run in and 1-for-1 trade there, 3 lives left on the Pirates. Big Head gonna be down forever now, as it's just Alessio, Hyper, and Jzerk. Alessio gonna fall. 23 seconds left on the point, but you're 9-2 lives. The Saints can just go start
Jzerk
contesting this point.
Oh, Hyper
Finds one, but it's just Jzerk left alive. He's got to try and fight this out. He finds Brandon.
They gotta
12
go.
seconds left on the point. The Saints, they got to beeline it there. 8 seconds left. The time is ticking down. 6, 5, 4, 3. But they are going to find the kill. And it is actually going to be the lives being taken down from Independence to find the round there for the Saints. We thought it was going to hit time there for a sec.
It was crazy. It was like the calm before the storm. It was just crazy going out back and forth. Out of nowhere, St. Clair pops off, cleans up all 4 people. Gorilla finds a killing spree in like 5 seconds. He killed like 5 people on the respawn. So St. Clair able to take an attacking round. I talked about how important the attacking round is. If you're able to find that's absolutely huge. Alessio Hyper going to take down 2 members of the Saints, and I think that's going to be it. Yeah, they're just going to give up A site here. So nothing too surprising on that one. Priestley going to find Jazer coming back for the flank. But again, we talked about A site. Pretty default. You just take A site early on, and then you get a lot of time to try and take B. Looks like that's what ICC is going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see Brandon just whip out the sniper to try and stop maybe just this initial push onto the A site. Because like you said, yeah, often you just give up the A site, but with this much time remaining, I definitely like this contention now. Now they're like, all right, hold on. You guys didn't take it that fast. We've got a little bit of time to stop you here. And now this is going to be much, much tougher once they do capture this A site, because it's just going to give them that much less time to try and cap this B site, which we all know is the problem site on this map. Jazer going to be trying to get the flank onto Brandon. He is going to find it. Sauce going to be trading it back. Hyper now holding these angles on the window, but with 2 ticks down on A, 50 seconds left.
Oh, Big Head going to find 1. Jazer going to take out his teammate, though. Hyper finds Brandon. Going to be 1 still holding here on site. Gorilla going to finally go down, but that's the 2nd time Jazer has taken out a teammate with a nade in this game so far. So definitely when you're down lives, that's going to make a huge difference. Gorilla on the 5 streak right now, actually looking for another to try and get that streak going. No, he's going to get taken down by Alessio in the back. That will be shutting down the streak, and ICC going to take A site.
Yeah, Brandon sitting in this corner here, but he's been pre-fired straight through by Hyper. And now Jzerk sitting on that B site. They found it. They're going to find the first tick in just a second here. This is not looking good for the Saints. 1 minute 30 seconds left. You got to spend much, much more time contesting this. You can't be letting them get that 2nd point with so much time remaining.
Might be bad. They might not be able to get back on this point. Priest going to find with the stun nade, though. Sauce going to get Jzerk as well. St. Clair going to be able to test one. Sauce going to find a second one onto Alessio. Just one left here on site. Priest is going to take care of him. St. Clair going to clear them all off. Lives are even now at 10 apiece, but two ticks on B is huge for ICC.
Huge for sure. I mean, we talked about how hard this point is to hold, and when you're able to find 2 ticks off the rip really like that. Brandon able to find 2, though. Stall him out just a little more, but with a minute left, they've got the time to just find a couple of picks, allow the rest of the team to rotate, and they only need to find this last tick to even out this control game. Brandon. 6 lives remaining, though. Saints could play fairly defensively and just find their way through with these lives, but not if Big Head is going to be winning these gunfights constantly. Gorilla going to find one. Hyper and Alessio now going to have to be forced to make this push.
They have one respawn
finds
left.
Another one.
Ooh,
only
Hyper,
2 lives up for the Saints.
Brandon going to find Jzerk there. Now only one respawn for each member of the ICC. One going to go down there. Hyper is now dead forever. Big Head going to find Brandon. Alessio going to find Priestley, but Sauce going to take out Alessio with the trade. That's going to be Gorilla taking a Big Head. There's going to be one left. Just Jzerk against all the members of the Saints here. That one respawn now used. They won't have any respawns 1v4, but it doesn't matter. St. Clair going to shut him down on the defense and going to take round number 2.
Wow. Both rounds ending to lives, too.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting, especially with how close they were on that B site. It really is a shame that Independence were unable to find it. But as we get into this next game here,
Gorilla 20-12 right now. Absolute terror. He's been looking so good throughout this series. Definitely St. Clair's strongest player. St. Clair also going back on attack here. Priest and Gorilla going to find one apiece. Jzerk going to get spotted out here. Going to be able to take him down. Gorilla going to find the headshot. That is going to be Priest getting taken out by Alessio. Alessio looking for Brandon as well. Going to chip now, but not going to go down. Big Head going to find him with a nade, though. Sauce going to find one.
Alessio lived with 8 HP there.
Crazy.
One more bullet, even through a wall, would have found it on him, but now it's going to be Hyper who actually
But look, St. Clair, again, they're pulling towards B-side. Priestley with this play, but Brandon is here for backup. So St. Clair actually have played this so well. Look at ICC has to rotate all the way through mid from A, and St. Clair going to get a tick on B without even having to worry about anyone going down.
Yeah, I love those plays because when you see all 4 players rotate over to that other site, keep a little bit of pressure there with 1 or 2 players, like we saw Sauce and...
Did they get that second tick?
They do find the second tick from the middle there, but lives still even now.
But now you have to play so carefully as ICC, right? Because if St. Clair sends even one over to B, it's a huge threat. But you also have to cover A here because A did get a tick as well. St. Clair playing this objective game perfectly so far. I really like what they've done here. One is on the flank. The Big Head finds 2 on the flank, and we'll try and find a third. Hyper going to get Sauce instead. But they did get a second tick on A site. So now, with a minute left, a lot of time, you have 2 ticks on A, 2 ticks on B. They get 2 kills there. They're going to rotate towards A, and I mean, ICC is just scrambling right now to find an answer for St. Clair.
2 ticks left on the game here as they are about to pick up that one on A. They get the time from grabbing the control point. A couple lives lost there, but still even for both teams here as St. Clair is going to find the lead for just a second there. But it's this last tick on B that just is ticking down. Gorillas on the site. Sauce going to take out Big Head. But now Saints are going to have to regroup and rearm here to grab this last point. Jzerk, the COD timing there as Brandon looks away for just half a second is going to fall to Jzerk, but it's Priestley who's going to be trading it back, consistently keeping a 1 life lead here for the Saints, but we know how fast this can turn back as now, once again, the lives ticking down for both teams, time ticking down as well. Saints, they got to find some kind of push here onto this site. But this is so hard with how tight this site can get. Alessio finds a pick there onto Gorilla, and Jzerk pushing up onto Sauce. Now the advantage is in the Pirates' hands as far as lives go. 9-11 there.
They will have a slight advantage here, St. Clair. They have a lot of time here, still 53 seconds, and they only need 1 tick. So 1 solid push will net them this game and net them a lead in this series. But Jzerk and Big Head are going to combine for 3 kills, and that is going to be St. Clair losing so much there. Hyper going to find a teammate in Jzerk, also going to find Gorilla through the wall, and that's going to mean St. Clair has no respawns remaining. Sauce going to go down right after there, just running straight into the spawn. Brandon going to find Big Head. There's going to be 1 moving around here. Alessio going to take down Gorilla. It is going to be 2 lives left for St. Clair. Brandon and Priestley stuck in their own spawn here. Can try and spot out one, but Jays are going to get Brandon first. It's just going to be Priestley all that's left. Finds one. He's getting collapsed on here. He's going to take it. Alessio finds a second, but there's only 16 seconds left. He has to get all the way across the map, and this is almost a guaranteed loss here for St. Clair. Unfortunately, Priestley just no time to even get to B site.
Yeah, having to take a gunfight with Jzerk there around the middle of the map. He's not going to have the time. 2 seconds left. He is going to fall. That is going to be ICC finding the win. Once again, another team finding the win in a last-second scenario, but through the lives being taken down. Priestley not able to save his life in the end there, but that is going to be the first round going to ICC, bringing it to 2-1 in this game and keeping it competitive. The Saints, they came out with a pretty good strategy of trying to hit both sites there, but I think they needed to cap B as the first one.
I think for me, it hurts so much too, right? Because you got 2 ticks on both. You had so much time remaining. You had a minute and a half to try and hit B, and you only needed 1 tick, but unfortunately just weren't able to do it. And we talked about how hard it is to actually take B site on Tuscan. It is not easy to do, even if you only need 1 tick. And St. Clair unfortunately just weren't able to convert. They will go back onto the defense here, though, so it is the favored side. Asa going to get some progress here. Sauce going to find 2 picks. Usually going to find a third for St. Clair, so they will be able to clear Independence off for a moment. Independence looking like they want to go for a B push here.
Yeah, looking like they're going to try it. Gorilla going to fall, not before trading one out for himself. Brandon finds another one. Completely shuts down the B push here. As now with 56 seconds left, there's only 1 tick down on A. 4 ICC members making their way over to A here. Jzerk. It's actually Alessio who's going to fall initially. Big Head on the point here trying to get this second tick. Jzerk going to fall as well. The tick still being captured as one is going to hop off the site here. But it's Big Head. He should be able to find that second tick. He is going to find it. As Sauce trying to make this push. Alessio going to take him down with the automaton from afar. As it seems like the Saints are just going to be giving up that A. And wow, the SMG just wins out in close range. Jzerk and Big Head both finding kills respectively.
It's going to be Sauce finding Hyper, though. And St. Clair had a 5 life lead. Now it is down to just 3. ICC will be able to take a site. Just be left. No ticks of progress on it, though. A minute and a half remaining, so a lot of time for these teams to decide where they want to go, and a lot of kills going over at Independent CC. They've shored up that live lead. It's pretty even now. They're able to take some control of B site here. Sauce and Hyper coming in on the flank. There's going to be one coming in from St. Clair on the flank, though. Brandon all the way in the back. Going to find one on point here. Going to try and find a second, but no, he's going to get traded out by Big Head on point, and they will be able to get 1 tick of progress here on B.
Wow, Priestley switches his gun at the worst timing there as Jzerk is going to come out and find the kill. Sauce jumping onto the point, takes down the 1 player in Jzerk who is on the point. But now it's going to be Hyper and Alessio trying to make their way there to be finding this second tick. The second tick is so close. Saints need to start contesting this and need to start taking it down, but ICC is going to find it. Yeah, and Brandon, that could be the game.
Yeah, they could actually even this up now. It is going to be 2-2. No, they're going to contest at the last second, but not going to be able to get that kill. Independence going to take B site on attack here, and because they were able to get that one, I think it means they're going to be going on a defense here in round number 5. So, I mean, for me, I think the fact that St. Clair not able to win that one out in that round number 3, you're going into round number 5 now, and you're going to be on the attack. So it's going to be very, very tough for you. And St. Clair gonna have a tough task ahead of them on this attacking round.
Yeah, 100%. This is what it comes down to. You're on the attacking side if you are the Saints, but when you've lost your lead like this, the momentum is just not there for you. A grenade kill from Brandon is actually going to start
right
off.
now already. Holy smokes, he finds 6 actually, so he's going to be able to get that streak active. Going to find a 7th as well. Nobody able to trade out Big Head to start off this game, and now he's going to be able to find that streak here, which is absolutely massive considering we are in round number 5. That's going to mean so much moving forward. St. Clair tried to go for that sneaky B attack again, not able to do it. There's one all the way back here in the flank. Brandon going to get taken out by Alessio with the nade, and St. Clair not winning any gunfights around the map right now. Alessio going to take down Sauce as well, and St. Clair pretty spread out across the map. Brandon going to find Hyper. Gorilla going to find J-Zerk as well. But you see how aggressive Independence is being right now. Look how far up Alessio was pushed here. Priestley going to find Big Head towards B site. It means St. Clair will most likely get a tick here. Yes, they will. They get a little bit of progress there on A site as well. They have Gorilla over there. So again, they're hitting both sites at the same time to try and spread out ICC's defense, and it's working for them.
Yeah, for sure. And they are going to be finding some more points on the A site there, but it's the glide bomb that's going to come through to clear them off. That allows the rest of Independence to just be completely shutting down this B push. But now 3 Saints on the A site. They are going to be able to find this second tick before any rotations come through. Player number 5 here, Alessio coming through. Trying to find Gorilla there, but it's actually Priestley who's going to find him from behind. The rotations on point, but now ICC finds control of the capture point A back, and they are going to stop that third tick from coming through. So 35 seconds, the Saints got to make something happen here.
Yeah, J-Zerk and Hyper both found double kills there. Now Lives at a 5 deficit for the side of St. Clair. 2 more going to go down. Now it's a 7 life deficit. And unfortunately, St. Clair haven't even gotten A site, the easier site to take, and now you're down 7 lives. Not looking good. Big Head going to take down Brantley. Priestley going to trade, but Big Head again going huge here. Alessio going to find Sauce, and now the 9 life difference. Only 7 seconds remaining. St. Clair can't even get onto A site. That is going to be it for this game. Can they push onto A? No, they're not going to have time to. And ICC going to take this control. St. Clair had this one in the bag, and ICC just rips it away from them and takes themselves into a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, St. Clair just absolutely falling apart after those first 2 rounds. ICC coming back, capitalizing on these mistakes that the Saints are making. And yeah, I think the split A-B hit, it worked the first time when ICC just straight up sent 4 players to A, but unfortunately, they had caught on by these later rounds, and they were able to find it. And now that is going to be 2-1 for the Pirates, moving into Tuscan hardpoint here.
Yeah, I think it's just so hard for St. Clair, right? Because, like, they won those first 2 rounds. The third one, they had it in the bag. They had 2 ticks on A, 2 ticks on B. They had a life advantage. It was all, like, it was theirs for the taking. ICC roars back, able to take that win on the map in lives. And then, 4 and 5, it really just felt like St. Clair ran out of gas, right? Like, there was multiple times where they were holding it even. It was pretty close, but then out of nowhere, J-Zerk finds a double, Hyper finds a double, Big Head finds a 7 streak out of nowhere. So I feel like it was just St. Clair just didn't have that clutch that they needed to finish off that round, finish off this this control, and now going to be at a 1-2 disadvantage here going to map number 4.
Yeah, so now they're stuck in this spot where they got to win these 2 games in a row. And after you just lost that 1 respawn mode on Tuscan, especially
lost both
with a bit of a
modes.
Yeah, both respawn modes now, 1 on Berlin, 1 on Tuscan. Moving into this next map on Tuscan, I think the Saints, you got to be a little like demoralized after that loss. You got to be feeling the mental, it just would not be there personally for me if I was in that situation. And I think that is definitely going to weigh on the Saints going into this game. And we've seen how strong the Pirates are in this hardpoint mode. Let's see if they can translate it over onto that Tuscan map.
Yeah, I mean, for St. Clair, you got to find some kind of third gear. You got to be able to find some kind of motivation there. Say, okay, we had it there. Unfortunately, we just didn't end up closing it out. And it's happened multiple times, even on Search, right? They ended up winning the Search, but they gave up 3 rounds there. It looked pretty bad for them. So they need to find a way to close out games consistently, because if you're giving ICC a door, they will kick it open and they will be able to walk through and take that victory from you. So I think for me, I want to see St. Clair, if you find advantages in these games, if you're up in this hard point by 50, 70 points, finish it off, get those trades through, be able to at least keep it even so you can eventually find that victory, because they give themselves advantages, they just aren't able to really convert them when they need to.
Yeah, for sure. And converting the advantages is something that we saw them do in the first 2 rounds, too. They would find these life leads, and they were able to convert that into wins. And then in the last 3 rounds, they just completely fall apart. And it's actually the Pirates who are playing these spawn angles, are playing a lot of random, not even that they were finding, off angles, but you'd see Alessio burst through a door and just pre-fire Brandon on the other side of the door. Like, when you're getting caught out and losing lives like that, that's when it really starts to sting for the Saints.
Because there's teams, like when you're playing against these top tier teams, a lot of times like lower end teams might, like they not check their corners, might not be aware of everything that's going on. But for St. Clair, right, you're playing against these top level teams. They're going to be checking corners. They're going to fire you every single place because everywhere you thought you could hide, that's where they think they can hide too. So they're going to check that corner. So St. Clair going to have to make sure they're getting their trades through too. That was something I noticed is there was several times, like every single round there, 3, 4, 5, there was a pretty close live differential, and then Independence would find 2, they'd find 3, and they wouldn't get traded out. St. Clair just not able. You need to be able to win out that trade gunfight, or else you're not going to find yourself at a life advantage. And it seemed like there was multiple times there where they brought lives to even, and they were just not winning those trades. They're not winning. They're not able to find those kills, and it means that you put yourself in a life lead hole, and then it just becomes harder and harder to play it out. And now you're going into hardpoint. Lives aren't going to be such a big difference, but those gunfights are, because you need to be able to win out those trades to be able to find yourself objective advantages.
Yeah, and you need to be able to be stronger on the rotations than the other team. And now, after that win, the Pirates are putting themselves into a series point situation, looking to knock the Saints out of this NACE Star League lower bracket. And the Saints, I don't think they want to be finding themselves getting knocked out in quarters. They want to be taking this all the way, but it's ICC who's going to be denying them that. And after, like you said, losing 2 consecutive series to ICC last season, it's definitely going to sting for the Saints to be losing a game that close with such a lead that they had coming into this next game. The mental is going to definitely be boomed for the Saints, I think.
Yeah, I think they have to stand strong. They have to find a way to try and come back in this series. It's going to be a long road ahead of them. And you know what? It does get me kind of excited, because if St. Clair finds a victory here in map number 4, we're going to be seeing Desert Siege. And that's going to be something. I mean, I haven't personally even got to cast that map, because we don't end up getting towards later ends of the series typically. But it'd be very exciting to see how these teams face up on it. And St. Clair, they won that first Search and Destroy. So you're going to second Search and Destroy. You have the advantage per se, because you did win that first one. But they have to get through this hard point first, and we saw how they performed in that first hard point. It, like you said, it seemed ICC favored for the majority of that one, so they have to find a way to try and come back here. It is a different map. It is Tuscan. It's not Berlin, so at least there's that. But again, St. Clair are going to have to try and find some kind of momentum here to build off of.
Yeah, they really just have to try and find something, and even if it's just an initial hardpoint engagement, to be able to find a nice 30-40 point cushion to sit on, it's something that they are going to have to try and find to keep themselves into this series, because I think if we find the Pirates getting that initial hardpoint and getting a lead like that, I think we're just going to see a repeat of game 1.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And the fact that ICC did win a series before this in 5 games, like, they have that longevity. We know they can play. The fact they went to 5 games, they were able to win. That means they have that clutch factor. You see them have that clutch factor here in that 3rd game. So I think St. Clair, you have to find advantages. You have to try and move that forward, try and give yourself a good lead to build off of here. Because the last hard point, they started off with a 45-point deficit. So moving into Tuscan hard point here, you have to try and find that advantage for yourself. Try and get yourself a lead early on and build off of that. Because I feel like they look so much better in the mid to late game than they do in the early game on these hard points. It feels like that first rotation is kind of their weakness. So if you can shore that up, I think they can take the victory here and force us on to a Desert Siege map 5.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do that as we're getting into this match point game on Tuscan for Independence Community College. They are gonna be heading in, and one player I'm really interested to see. Big Head is so good at finding these multi-kills, as we've seen, that I think him being on the hard point, being able to clear out 1 or 2 solo, is definitely going to make a big difference for ICC in this game. And the Saints, they're able to find about 5 points initially, but now it's ICC who have rotated onto this point, found a few picks. Priestley going to trade one back, but it's still ICC racking up these points, as it's Jazark and Alessio finding their way onto the site. And Priestley...
Okay, so score actually is flipped, or is this... Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
it's 2-1, 2-1. It's 2-1
yeah.
Independence in the series right now, just so everybody knows. But Independence also going to be holding this first hard point early, and St. Clair just struggling to make any kind of point. You're already down to a 30-point deficit early on in this game, and yes, they can flip at any moment if you can find a solid hold on a point, but again, you're putting yourself in a hole to start off this game, and Independence able to get that first rotation just puts St. Clair at such a disadvantage throughout this entire hard point now.
Yeah, although St. Clair able to find a rotation onto this next hardpoint, so it does give them time to set up, although it's only one player who's set up on this, and it's going to be Sauce who's actually trying to rotate in and around, but it's Hyper once again picking up another one of those multi-kills for Independence, and it just gives them so much control, so much priority over this hardpoint as they get so much time to set up. And now it's going to be Big Head once again picking up one, picking up two onto Sauce, and Gorilla picking up a third before he's traded out by Priestley. Big Head immediately showing us these crazy multi-kills that he's been showing us all series. 9-3 now. Highest score in the game. Make that 10-3 as they make their way onto the hard point and keep this lead going up about 40 points now for ICC.
ICC going to be able to get that in scrap time as well. St. Clair going to set up here on to the next hard point. Jazer can take down Sauce as well. Big Egg going to find Gorilla. And St. Clair going to be cleared off at that point. Jazer going to find Priestley. And that means that Independence, again, striking forward a really good break. They will be able to take this point, and they're going to be able to hold it for a second. Big Head going to get Brandon as well. Big Head 12-3 right now. Just unstoppable here on hard point.
Yeah, Alessio holding this angle intently as he's not going to be able to find Brandon, and it's actually a grenade that's going to take Alessio down. Jazer able to trade one out, but Priestley is going to find him. But now, once again, a double kill comes in from Independence, and they are going to keep this site on lock. 70 points ahead now. This is not where you want to be. If you are the Saints, you cannot let them have this.
Oh, Brandon! Holy smokes, he found 2 pistol kills there. And a solo break in on this point. Jazer finally going to take him out, but a really good solo play for Brandon. But it doesn't matter, St. Clair, you're down 90 points here to start yourself off on this hard point, and it feels like you're just losing the game. 3 points in, like, you're just putting yourself at such a big disadvantage. Not saying they can't come back, but like I said, they need to start off these games with more fire in their blood. They need to be able to find themselves some advantages early on, or at least keep it even, because yes, you're doing well, you're able to break in these points, you're able to keep it even, but it doesn't matter because you've already built up such a big lead for Independence that St. Clair, you're going to have to make some crazy plays on these hard points to be able to at least draw it to even.
Yeah, I like that the Saints are trying to play these fights now at the starting of the hard point rather than just trying to grab that scrap time at the end. But the problem now is that they're not mounting a 4-player push onto these sites. Now, they're finally going to wait for the rest of their teammates when they make this push here. But once again, it's just 12 seconds left on the site. ICC, it's actually Saints who have set their sights on the next site as well, though. This is a good setup from the Saints. This could bring them back into the game here. Alessio not going to check the corner and actually going to find Brandon. But Big Head, he's going to make his way onto site. This is the player we've seen battle his way out of it. But Gorilla going to be quicker on the trigger there as he finds it. And now that is going to bring the lead much closer for the Saints as they are going to start racking up these points on the hard point.
Gorilla able to escape that shot from Big Head, but he's going to find him in the end. Going to try and second. He's going to find it. Big Head. Another two-piece here. And going to be able to break into this point. Brandon and Sauce going to find kills there. Oh, no. Brandon going to get a nade kill on a Hyper as well. They're going to try and stifle this one. Alessio, the only one left here, finds 2. Brandon going to trade him out, though. Can't finish it off. And St. Clair have held this one strong so far. Brandon going to take this one. And this is going to bring them right back into contention in this game.
Yeah. They are going to actually, get all the points on this one hard point, which is going to bring them much back into this game. But still, the problem is Jazer, Big Head, and Alessio coming onto these sites and clearing out 1, 2, 3 players before being able to be traded out. But the Saints, after finding the initial pick, they are going to get the starting priority onto this next hard point. Brandon going to fall to Jazer, though. Big Head getting tagged a bit by Gorilla down near mid. Gorilla going to find Alessio. This is actually giving a lot of points back to the Saints, and the game is much more even now.
St. Clair has literally brought back a 90-point deficit in 2 hard points. Absolutely insane. They will take the advantage here in this game. This is the St. Clair I wanted to see here. You know what's funny? It's the second rotation of these points. I always say they turn it up. They lose it so much in that first one. They force themselves in this position, but they are able to take advantage and now will take the lead here. And such a big comeback. Priestley going to find a 2-piece there for himself as well. And looks like, again, ICC forced away from this point. St. Clair going to hold it strong, get another 60, and they're going to take a 20-point advantage for themselves.
Yeah. Wow, this is not where I expected this game to
not
go
at
at all. But now it's ICC setting their sights on the next hard point. But with how strong Saints have been on the gunfights in the last couple minutes here, we could see them trying to find something. 10 seconds on the site here for ICC. Going to be closing up the lead that Saints just grabbed. 10 points down there. But Saints not able to get in and contest this.
Back and forth in this game. Independence going to draw us to 150 apiece. Can even up the scoreline here. Alessio going to find one. Gorilla going to trade back with the nade. But St. Clair just don't know how to attack this hard point just yet. They haven't really been able to get a good break in here on P2. Pre St. Brandon going to find a piece of their own. Going to try and find Jazerk, but no, he's going to trade it back. Big head again going huge. Finding a two-piece. 22 and 14 here. Brandon 25 and 18 as well. Both these players doing so well on this hard point. Independence can take themselves up to a 20-point lead. So it's back and forth. Both these teams able to hold these points very, very strong. And the other team just struggling to make breaks on these hard points. It just seems like the offense here right now is just so weak compared to the defense on these hard points.
Yeah, right now it just seems like aggression is king, and whichever team finds that initial pick onto the site converts it into 2 or 3 more, and they're able to find that one hard point. But now Saints are going to be grabbing control of this one on the rotation again, and this is another one that they lost very, very heavily lost the first time around, but they were able to grab just about half of the time there. But it's going to be the Pirates grabbing presumably this next 30 seconds, but it's going to be Sauce to try and change that. Jazerk in the corner, going to be able to grab Sauce as he tries to get aggressive there. Gorilla going to come in with a slide. Ooh, picks the wrong angle to pre-aim, and he is going to get taken down immediately there, as it's Sauce who's going to be able to grab the last few seconds of this hard point as his teammates rotate towards that next one. Priestley going to get close quarters with Hyper there. Going to find Jazerk immediately after as well, and now Big Head coming in on the rotation.
This game is swinging back and forth so much. Both of these teams picking up leads and then immediately losing them. Break going to come in here. Successful so far, but no, going to be shut down by the side of St. Clair. Unless you're going to trade back on a Sauce, though, it's going to mean Independence has a chance to try and come back here. But again, the game going to go to about even in the scoreline. 190 points apiece for these teams. Break going to try and come in here for the side of Independence, and they will get it. Big Ed again finding another two-piece on this site, going to get those kills without being traded, and it's going to mean Independence again going to be able to take this one, going up to 200 points.
Wow, but what a close game we have on our hands here regardless. Independence finding control on this last few seconds here. Saints, they're going to have to try and make something happen towards this next hard point, but Jazerk already found his way over there as he's going to meet Brandon in just a second here. Stun going to come out. Jazerk.
Alessio on 5 right now. That's absolutely huge. If he can find a streak there, it's going to be so hard for St. Clair to hold this one. But this was the one they 60-pointed on Independence. This was the one they played their strongest on. Big A going to find Sauce, though. That's a huge pick. Alessio going to find one as well. Alessio finds a second. He gets the streak before he gets traded out. That's absolutely huge. 220 points here for ICC. Big Head on a 5 streak. Brandon going to find 2. Gorilla going to get one as well. So St. Clair able to push into this point, but Alessio just waiting on the outside. Nade's going to come in through here. St. Clair going to cross the 200-point marker for themselves here, but they're not going to be able to quite break into this one. Big Egg going to find one for themselves. St. Clair still holding this site for the moment. Going to be contested for a second. Big Egg going to get taken down here. It is just such a congested site. Sauce going to find one here. Going to be able to be traded out. Going to find a second before it gets traded up by Jazerk. Priestley going to be there in the end of it. And it's going to mean St. Clair going to get the scrap time here. So they're going to draw it.
This game is coming down to
even.
the wire.
This is going to be insane. This point here is going to determine this game. Whoever takes this one will most likely take the game here. And we're going to draw points to about even at the end of it.
Yeah, Jazerk, though, able to grab 227 for his team now as the Saints grab the initial control of this hard point as ICC starts to rotate around. Points have now just about even out as the Saints are going to be catching up to that 227 marker. And now, as the streak comes through...
Brandon's. Brandon has a streak. I didn't even know about that. Streak going to come through. He's going to find one here on the backside. Brandon finds Jazerk. Going to get traded out, though. St. Clair going to draw it to even 228 points. This is going to be absolutely massive. Whoever can try and find an advantage here, if they can clean house, is going to be there. Still contested by both of these teams. No one getting any points here. Brandon and Jays are going to get traded out for each other here. One coming in on the flank, 230 points for the Pirates here. They're going to start picking up some time here. Going to be contested. Alessio going to take out Brandon. That's absolutely huge. Sauce going to get on here, try and contest. Not going to let ICC get any more. Priestley going to find one. Getting traded out though. Gorilla going to find him. Jays with a nade. Priestley coming back. Both these teams finding kills all across the board, but it's going to be just one left. It's going to be Alessio on this point, taking some advantage, and now St. Clair, you have to start pushing towards this other site. The advantage is going to be for Independence here, 242 points. St. Clair, you have to make this break in this 2v2 scenario here. Not able to win out that gunfight. Sauce gets one, can't find the second, though. There's one left. Independence at 247. Can they clean it up here? Gonna try and win this gunfight. No, Gorilla gonna get two with a pistol, but that's gonna be a streak coming in for Alessio. He's gonna get one on site. St. Clair, 235 points. Can they get this one? Can they hold it? Will Independence break through? Independence gonna get one. Alessio gonna find one. Big Guy gonna find one. Sauce gonna trade him out. They just need two more points here, but they're going to be cleaned off the site. St. Clair going to get them all. 241 points. St. Clair, you just have to hold on this for a little bit longer. Gorilla to find one, getting traded out. Alessio and Hyper going to find two kills. Two left on point for St. Clair. Priest going to find two. Sauce going to find one. That's going to be it. St. Clair
What did I
take this
just
one.
watch?
An absolute barn burner, but they take it 250 to 248, and we get map 5 Desert Siege.
What did I just
Holy
watch?
smokes.
That was down to 2 points there at the end. ICC gonna fall from the aggression from Sauce, who's able to hold the point just enough there at the end.
Look at how many kills are on this board. There's
Wild.
6 people at 30 kills.
Yeah, that was a 498
Holy crap.
point hard point game from both teams there, and what a close game it was.
Yeah, that was insane. That was like every single point. It was like the 90-point advantage for Independence started off. St. Clair take 2 back. They swing it back in their favor, and then it goes back and forth between these two teams. And then that was the best COD game I've watched in a very, very long time. That was insane.
Yeah, that was so close. Yet at the same time, I never knew who was winning.
Yeah.
Like it felt like every time it would be like 5. Especially on those last like 3 hard points there, it was like 5 seconds to one team, contestion, 5 seconds to the other team, contestion, and then all of these gunfights coming out, and each team only able to grab 5 or 6 points at a time. And then I thought it was going to end on the second last hard point there, but it just barely didn't. They found like 243, I think it was, that ICC found right at the end there. So close at the end, but the Saints, they make that last second play, that desperation play, keeping them in the series. And now we're moving on to Desert Siege.
It was funny. I remember back all the way at the very beginning of the season, I was casting St. Clair against University of Windsor, and the same thing happened. It was literally down to 250. Like University of Windsor won 250, or no, sorry, St. Clair won 250 248. It was literally like the last second. Priestley finds a double kill and turns that, like, it could have been the other team's game, but Priestley finds a double kill. Sauce finds another, and they turn it into their favor. And you can't get a closer game than that. Now we're going to map 5 Desert Siege. Like I've said this throughout the whole series. I don't know what to expect out of this map. Like, this could literally be anyone's map to take.
This could definitely be anyone's game, and while I want to put it into the Saints' hands just based on their search and destroy record, how many times have we seen them on Desert Siege? I don't think we have, at least not on stream here. And yeah, with how tight the search game ended up being on Berlin as well, I could definitely see ICC taking it. Yeah, every one of these games
like,
has been.
I think outside game 1, I think felt like ICC, but like every single game has just felt so tight. Back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. ICC, they were able to find that first game pretty dominantly, but after that, it took them to mount a grueling comeback in the control game to be able to bring it to match point. And now with such a close hard point game coming out, I have no idea what we're going to see in this map 5. Desert Siege, it's such a wild map, and we haven't seen either of these teams on it before. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what setups they're going to try to put on the site. I don't even know what site the Saints prefer. Like
I'm going in. We're going in completely blind to this game, and it's going to make it so much more exciting because this series has been so back and forth between these teams. It's been so evenly matched. I mean, I don't know what to expect here at map number 5, honestly. Like I couldn't make a prediction if I tried to, because I have no clue what it's going to be. But all I know is it's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so dynamic, and it's going to be something new and interesting that we're going to see on stream. And I can't wait. I mean, this is Lewis bracket. This is top 6 right here. So these are some of the best teams in all of NACE Star League going at it. And this is exactly that kind of quality match that we were hoping for.
Yeah, we are seeing 2 top collegiate teams go up against each other in the lower bracket. Now we're at a 2-2 situation. It is going to be game 5 coming up here in just a few minutes. And yeah, Desert Siege, a map that we don't see on stream just about ever. So it's going to be fresh for you viewers out there too. It's definitely going to be exciting because, like we said, as casters, we're basically going in blind to this one. Obviously, we know the map and whatnot, but we have not seen these teams play on it.
Yeah, that's why it's so interesting to see, and why it could be a 6-5 round 11 game, or it could be a 6-0 for one of these teams, because like we don't know how much they scrim it, we don't know how often these teams actually play. We know they don't, like, it doesn't get played that often in a competitive setting. So I think even if, say, you're scrimming it a lot, scrim is completely different from actual game, especially when you're 2-2 in top 6 in NACE playoffs. Like, you're never going to get this kind of situation. So I think that also makes a huge difference, because these teams going in, it has just been such a crazy back and forth series. The nerves have got to be super high. The tension's super high. The emotions are super high right now. So this is your moment. If you want to make this your playoff moment, this is the time to do it, because this is you're fighting for your lifeline here in the NACE Star League playoffs.
Yeah, I want to see Brandon pull out a sniper in this game.
That'd be fun.
And I want to see ICC pull one out as well. I don't know who their sniper would be. We haven't seen them pull it out just yet in this series, but I think on a map like Desert Siege that's so wide open and there's that long range angle around, I believe it's the B site on that map, but the right side of the map with the train from, I believe, it's right side if you're on attacking side. And yeah, that right side there, it's such a long angle for these snipers, and you can set up the bomb to be perfectly set down to have a sniper just hold it for any of these defuses that try to come out. That I think a sniper is definitely going to be very, very crucial on this map, and we've seen Brandon on it before. So I want to see him pull that out, and I want to see some sniper duels in this desert. A Wild West showdown.
Oh, I like that. It's been interesting, too, seeing like the rise of the sniper here. We saw it, I think, early on in the season. A lot of teams were using it on Tuscan because of that long sight line towards A. But we've seen on a lot of different maps now snipers being pulled out. So we'll see if Brandon goes for it here. I mean, like we said, we're going into this blind because we haven't seen St. Clair play this at all, and we're not going to be going into it quite yet. Game lobby has crashed, typical COD, so what else is new? But yeah, regardless, we're going to be going into this one blind, and again, I want to talk about this series. Like, control easily could have gone either way. Obviously, 250 to 248 hardpoint could have gone either way. Even like the first search, like, yes, St. Clair did end up winning that one, but it was 6-4. Independence found 3 rounds at near the end, and I think even that first hardpoint, I felt like was ICC very much advantage throughout that whole thing, but St. Clair found a lot of points near the end, so it's just been such a close back and forth series. This is exactly the kind of series we wanted to see for this one.
And this is exactly the kind of series we are going to keep seeing in NACE Star League playoffs, because now we're at the point where the only teams left are in the top 10 seeds typically for these teams, so it's definitely going to be...
St. Clair was number 12, I believe. So they're actually...
So St. Clair's actually outside of that top 10 seed area, which is definitely interesting because, ICC is what, 4th or 7th?
I think 7th? Can't remember exactly what it is. But regardless... okay. Oh, St. Clair's 4th seed. Okay. So it is top 10 seeds. It is.
So that's where I had those numbers in my head from, but yeah.
Yeah, so, definitely like 2 teams that are very, very good. And you're getting to top 6, right? So every single one of these teams that you're going to be playing against are super high quality. And I mean, for St. Clair, you got to find a way to clutch, because that's been something they've really been struggling with, is finding that clutch factor, finding that person able to really swing it out, because you haven't really had like those 1v2 scenarios. We see early on, especially early on in the season, like Priestley was 1v2 scenario, 1v3 scenario, and he was finding ways to win rounds that shouldn't have been won. And I mean, he has kind of been struggling here, even on the hard point. That 4th one, he was pretty good on. He was pretty close with the rest of his team on. But the search and destroy and the control, he was kind of struggling. So if there's ever a time to step up for the star player for St. Clair, it is now.
Yeah, we got to see somebody step up, because somebody's got to take on Big Head on that other team and Hyper there.
He's been
Big
insane.
Head has been finding so many crazy multi-kills, and then you'll often see Hyper there for the trade. Alessio is really good at holding long angles and holding off angles that Saints are just not ready for, and you'll often see them just run down a stair, and he's pointing up there perfectly, and he's going to find the kill off of that. So they got to be able to try and shut them down, but now finally getting into this Desert Siege match after the host switch there. And we are going to see, because, yeah, now that we're in here, I have no idea what to expect. Saints going to be making a mad dash towards A here with most of them, but actually Bomb heading towards the middle of the map. But here we're seeing Alessio, catches Gorilla right off the start, and Alessio once again, the long angles, such a good map for him as we've seen him the sharpshooter for Independence so far. Meanwhile, Big Head likes to get in there and brawl, but it's Brandon who's going to be trading it back. Lives now even, bomb now planted.
Look at this
and it's Brandon
from Alessio though. This is huge. I don't think Brandon's gonna be expecting this at all. Hyper gonna find one, Brandon trading back, but now they know where each other are. The trade's coming through. Bomb is down though. 28 seconds remaining. Can St. Clair hold this, or will Hyper be able to find a way to win this one out?
Yeah, full 360 rotation from Brandon here.
Oh, they had no clue. They passed each other.
They actually had no clue, and now Brandon, looking on the site, he's wondering, where's Alessio, or where's Hyper at? Where's Hyper at? Brandon, Hyper, now behind him, but there's going to be no time on the bomb here, and that is going to be first round going to St. Clair. A nice little ring around the rosy there from Brandon is actually going to take the round for them and stall out just enough time after that bomb has been planted to give an attacking win to St. Clair.
Like ships in the night, I think there was 2 times there where they were like 20 feet away from each other and they passed by and they happened to look in the other direction. So yeah, that's one of those times where you feel bad because you're like, I'm playing aggressive on the bomb, but I can't find this guy. So it is going to be St. Clair taking round number 1. Brandon with a 3-piece in that round as well. Absolutely popping off for St. Clair here. Now going to be on the defense. Independence going to be on the attack. Big Egg going to pick up this bomb. Grillo going to fire some shots on that long angle. No sniper that we've seen for Brandon though.
Yeah, keep in mind though, Alessio once again is on this long angle, and we saw just how much value he got in that first round, finding 2 kills, but it's Priestley with the first blood onto Jzerk. Going to be stalling the attack a little bit. Hyper and Alessio still playing back, but Big Head has moved far forward towards this A bomb site. He's actually going to start the plant now, and it's 3 players from the Saints playing outside of this A bomb site now. The second player in Brandon is going to be able to start rotating out now that they know for sure the bomb has been planted, but now they've got 30 seconds left, and with such a big map, the rotations have eaten up like a third of this post-plant time.
Big Head gonna find 2. Big Head gonna find a 3rd. Gonna try and find an ace here. He's gonna get it. Big Head goes absolutely massive. Gonna find the round there for Independence. An ace for him. And that's the player that we talked about so much that's just shined throughout this series for the side of Independence. And he shows why he is that star player with an ace in round number 2 of this search.
Yeah, wow. Quick ace as well. He was able to find one early on into the round and then just find a quick 1, 2, 3 at the end there on all the rotating players. But yeah, wow.
The big thing in here too is that he got a 4 streak out of that, so
yeah,
St. Clair needs to shut him down.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed now that we're 2 rounds into this, the rotations really do eat into your time on such a large map like this. After the plant comes down, we saw there, by the time all the Saints had regrouped on the outside of that bomb site, there was about 28 seconds left.
Big Head's on 6 though. We got the streak, so St. Clair, now you have to think about that in the back of your mind. The fact that Big Head's going to have that streak is huge, especially because it's so early on in this game.
Yeah, so early on. Alessio playing above this B bomb site. He's waiting for anything the Saints try to throw at him, but here's the problem. The bomb is down, and they're standing right on top of it.
Hyper. Hyper's in such a good spot. He's going to pop out. He's going to find Gorilla. And now a 1v3 scenario for Brandon. He's popped. He's done so well throughout this search, but he's going to have to find something amazing here.
Dead Silence is online, but it is going to be ticking down. He's going to become audible in just a few seconds here, but he did find a decent rotation for himself while the Dead Silence was available.
If you can find anyone here on the top ropes. Alessio going to be spotted up by teammate there. Brandon going to try and hop in here. There's one below him. Big Head Waiting for him to drop down. Gonna spot out one there on the side. Does get it, but there's only 7 seconds left. He founds the bomb, but he's not gonna be able to get the one. He finds one, but no! Big Head gonna be there for the insurance factor. Not only does he get that kill and get the round, but he gets the streaks as well. And now St. Clair at a disadvantage in this one, unfortunately. Brandon's a good try. He got 2 in the 1v3, but just couldn't find that last player. And now 7-1 for Big Head.
Yeah, wow, Big Head just absolutely shining for the side of ICC in this game. And you can't forget about Hyper there as well, who found a few kills in that round too. But wow, Brandon finding himself 5-3. The rest of the Saints really got to step it up to be finding some kills in this round, because they're just being mowed down on some of the off angles on this map. And you can really see that the Saints were just not prepared to play on Desert Siege.
I think they've actually done pretty well. I think they just haven't been able to trade out Big Head. Big Head's just been doing Big Head things, I guess, so far in this search. And bomb is going to go down here onto B site. They will be able to get it successfully without anyone going down. So now a 4v4 retake scenario for St. Clair. 40 seconds to try and get this one. Defuse actually going to come down really early here, and he's going to catch him off guard. They have no clue he's doing this. He's going to be able to get the defuse. What in the world? St. Clair going to get the defuse there in a... I think that was a 4v4 scenario. Like, what in the world was that? What?
I just don't think they heard it. Like, he popped the defuse so fast. No, there is no sound cue on the defuse. Okay, so they have to be trying to look for that. Yeah, and as they just weren't expecting it to come out that early.
I think that's one of the things about playing on a map that you don't normally play on, right? Is the fact that somehow Sauce found an angle to get in there and get the defuse, and Independence had no clue he was even there. So St. Clair going to even it up at 2-2, and one of the oddest rounds I've seen in Search in a long time.
Yeah, and 2 kills immediately coming out for Independence. It's just going to be Brandon and Gorilla left in this round now. Bomb also going to fall, as Hyper's going to fall on top of the train, bringing it back to a 2v2. Brandon and Gorilla going to be taking a different rotation, but they got to make it for this bomb here. The other team, it seems like Independence actually doesn't know that the bomb is down, though. They're not going to be holding it, but it's Jzerk there, who's going to be rotating over towards that A site. But Saints have time to play with. They're trying to clear this out methodically and quickly, as Big Head going to be out shooting Gorilla there. He is just on point today. 8-1 in this search game. Brandon going to find Big Head on the long shot there. And now it is a 1v1. Brandon versus Jzerk. Bomb is down. Jzerk playing on top of the derailed train here.
Ooh, he's going to spot him out. Going to get some shots down. Brandon not going to be taken out just yet. Jzerk, no kills yet so far in this game. This would be a good time to find your first kill of this one. He's going to hop off away from the bomb, though. He's going to let Brandon pick that one up. Brandon going to go towards B, but I think he figures, no, he's actually going to rotate all the way around back, going to go towards A. So he tried to predict the B site, but Brandon actually takes us back towards A, is going to get the plant down before Jzerk realizes what's going on. Bomb will be placed. He will get a chance to try and walk away here. No, he's going to actually play aggressive. You're looking for the angle. Doesn't spot out the player. I don't know if Jzerk saw him either, but look at this. Brandon playing this perfectly. He predicts where Jzerk is going to go. Going to get the flank here. Not going to see him quite yet. Going to hop off the derail train. Oh, he's looking left. He needs to look straight. He's right in front of him. Sees Jzerk. That's going to be a free kill. And that's going to be St. Clair going up to 3-2 in this search and destroy.
It's actually Brandon pulling out the Big Head plays there in the end.
True. Actually true. Oh, I like that. I like that. That was good.
Yeah, and he is able to find that onto Jzerk, completely looking the opposite direction. I like that idea because, yeah, Jzerk not expecting you to push back into the spawn there to be holding that, especially because I don't think the A site is even in line of sight from that angle. I think you have to push up a little bit farther to be able to stop it. So, yeah, Jzerk just not expecting that off the plant there. I also think Jzerk, I don't think he thought he had time to make it towards that strong position.
It was a smart move by letting him take the bomb, and Brandon actually just like five-headed that one, because he was like, okay, he's gonna, if he lets me have bomb, then he must be going for B, which means I'm gonna go back to A, which was a correct prediction. Still a 4v4 here in this round, a minute remaining. Looking like Independence wants to try and go towards A site here with this bomb. They have one on a very long flank here. Hyper holding quite a far angle. Some fighting going on the actual site. Gonna shot down. They're gonna find one there. Trades coming out quickly. 2 pistol kills for ICC. Sauce gonna trade back onto Big Head though. That 8-3 player for Independence going down here. They gonna come through. Not gonna catch one out though. Alessio still holding this basement. Sauce kind of stuck in a bad spot here. Gonna find one. Shot's gonna come through. Not gonna be able to take down Alessio, running away with that bomb though.
Yeah, Sauce going to be shot down from behind as it's Priestley who's going to catch Hyper off guard. Spots Alessio up top as well. Hits a few shots into him, but it's Jzerk on this flank here. He's going to be coming behind Priestley. He spots out Priestley now. Priestley, you're looking the wrong way, and that is the 2-on-1. Going to be won by ICC, bringing it to 3-3. And wow, this is such a close game once again.
And that was
Search here.
Twice in that round, Alessio got chipped down to very, very low HP, was able to slide away and able to get back. So, like, twice in that round, if St. Clair can find that pick, I think it makes it so much harder for ICC to play that one. But Alessio able to sneak away, and it does mean Independence can tie us up. And this is exactly the kind of game that I was expecting out of this search.
Yeah, exactly the kind of game, because I think both teams are equally, like, not that they haven't probably practiced on this map, but equally
inexperienced.
Yeah,
you know,
inexperienced
like
in comparison to the other maps, exactly. So both teams kind of just pulling strategies, I think, on the fly here almost, as we saw with those mid-game adjustments like that in that 1v1 from Brandon there. But yeah, Saints going to be taking a bit of an aggressive play towards this B side.
Sauce going to get chipped down a little bit there, going to be able to walk away, and another little bit of a slower attack here. Both teams trying to decide what they want to do. Big Ed going to find Sauce, though. Gets bombed down for the side of ICC. St. Clair going to have to try and recover, and Big Ed able to get away without being traded. Absolutely huge. 40 seconds remaining. St. Clair down 3 to 4 players right now. Priestley going to pick up that bomb. Going to try and slide back towards A. No, he's going to go towards B, actually, now. St. Clair going to go for that hit. They're going to send one forward here. Nice held angle here. They're going to pop
They didn't spot Big Head.
Ooh.
Big Head is waiting in that corner. He knows exactly where the two players that just passed him are. He's relaying that information straight to his teammates. He's also going to take down Priestley, but Brandon able to trade him back. But it's Brandon in the 1v2 now.
Oh, he doesn't get the kill on Hyper, though. Hyper able to slide away again, just barely escaping.
I
doesn't
like
have
this.
time.
Brandon gets aggressive. He finds the kill onto Hyper, but there's no time. And that is going to be the 4th round for ICC. Still such a close search game, though.
And that's one of those things, too. The fact that the map isn't as familiar with them are... Big Head finds a corner, and he sees 2 players just whiz by him through the door. And St. Clair, not checking their corners, doesn't realize that there's a spot there. Well, I mean, they realize there's a spot there he can hide, but they don't check it like they'd normally check maybe other corners on maps. And does mean he gets all that information through, able to pick up a couple kills, and now St. Clair going to be down 3 to 4, and Sauce and Priestley sitting at 2 and 6. Just even Gorilla sitting at 4 and 6. Like, Brandon is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here in this one.
Yeah, Big Head gonna be getting super aggressive, finding Sauce from behind, but it's Brandon who's gonna find Hyper over near that B site. Now, Gorilla finding a kill of his own, but not able to make it out with his life, as it's now a 2v2.
Look at how far back they're playing in this, though. They're playing like the longest possible angles you could think of here. Priestley and Brandon here trying to take this one. Bomb going to be picked up here by Alessio. Alessio and Jzerk, 2 players remaining for the side of Independence. Bomb looking like they want to push it towards A site. Priestley going to be here with a pistol out for a second. Going to pull out that long range gun. Going to spot Alessio here. Going to get chips down. Alessio again. Going to sneak away with barely any HP. Just 17 on that one. Is going to rotate more towards middle here. Jays are going to be here for the reinforcements. Brandon holding this long angle again.
Yeah, look at how he's holding it right in between that train there.
Oh my goodness.
Once again, Alessio finds it out with 30 HP.
Oh, he survives the nade too. Holy
how
smokes.
is he doing this? He's going to get the plant off too. Not unless Brandon wants to start pushing him, but the plant is going to come down. Andy makes it out with his life. Alessio re-peeks it and kills Brandon this time and pushes forward. That is going to be the 5th round for ICC. 5-3. They are trying to take this game all the way. It is match point, series point for ICC here now in this Desert Siege Search and Destroy.
Priestley, there is no reason for you to switch your weapon there to go to the pistol, and he ends up losing the fight. Alessio twice in that round, sub 40 HP, able to survive, and is able to pick up the 2-piece at the end. And St. Clair, you're down 5-3 here. You just let that round slip through your fingers. They got to clutch up here. They got to be able to find a way to win these next 3 rounds, but it's going to be a tough road ahead of them.
Tough road for sure. Big Head playing this close angle once again. We've seen it pay off so many times in these rounds, but it's going going to be St. Clair making a break for B and getting the plant off early on in this 9th round here.
To be huge. If Gorilla spots out this player here, which he will know he's there, gonna be able to get that
Head.
kill. Priestley gonna find one. Big Head gonna find two again. Big Head going huge. Brandon gonna find one though. Now it's a 2v1 scenario out of absolutely nowhere. Big Head with a big rotation round gonna spot out. Brandon is on the 3-piece, gonna go for another ace. 1v1 Gorilla against Big Head here. Big Head looking for the ace. He heard the door open, I think. Gorilla has no clue where this player is. Big Head gonna be actually behind him. Big flank here, spots him out. He's gonna get a free kill if he can find these shots. Yes, he does! Gorilla gonna find that kill, and St. Clair gonna pull us to 4-5 in this search. Absolutely insane stuff in this series.
Big Head trying to clutch it up for his team there with some crazy kills off the bat, some crazy flanks. He perfectly spots out Sauce. Priestley doesn't even have the time to react to Sauce's comms coming through, and that is going to be the 4th round for the Saints, though, as Big Head not able to close it out.
The one thing you gotta remember, though, it happened very early on, but Big Head got that glide bomb. He got that streak, so he has that option available, and it's going to be so important here, especially if we go to that round 11. St. Clair going to try and draw us to even, at least get us to that round number 11 with a win here. Independence trying to seal it off here, trying to finish the series off at 6-4 on this search. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually do remember that from a week or two back. The strafing run there is actually gentleman agreement to just not be used there. So it's just the glide bomb that is going to come through.
Maybe use it, because he did have like an 8 streak or something, so he definitely had it available. Brandon going to find the first kill on him, though. It means he can't use that streak in this round. St. Clair going to find an early advantage, and we talked about this in this whole series. They get that early advantage. They need to be able to use it and actually win out this game and give themselves a shot to win this series.
Gorilla going to find one onto Alessio, and they're really trying to tie this game up. We're taking this all the way once again. These games so close, as now it's just Hyper left in the 1-on-4. He finds one, but the rest of the team over near the bomb. Set up on the rest of the map here.
Yeah, only 15 seconds left. I mean, this is pretty much St. Clair's round. We're going to be going. This is exactly where I was hoping this would go. Round 11, map 5 search for both of these teams. This is where it all comes down to. This is the big moment. You're playing for your life. You're playing for your lifeline in these playoffs. St. Clair didn't take this one. Bring us to round 11, map 5 on Desert Siege. Absolute banger of a series, no matter how this one ends.
It comes down to it. Yeah, no matter how this ends, absolute banger of a series, but whoever loses this round is going to be sent home from NACE Star League. Wow.
This is the time.
I did not think...
This is the time you need to step up for these players. This is your moment to shine. St. Clair going to be getting attack here on round number 11. Brandon going to be hiding out underneath this one. He needs to find this first pick. Is going to mean so much for these players. Big Eye going to find it. Sauce going to train it back though immediately, and that means no streak. No streak available. 3-3 scenario here. Jays are going to find Sauce with a nade though, and that means the trade can't come through. That's huge for ICC. Flank coming through here as well. I don't know if he's seen ideas behind him here. Gorilla waiting for this player. Going to pop out the door here. No, he's going to hold this angle. Oh my goodness. Some tense moments here.
Tense moments. Saints have to be so smart with their positioning here. You do not want to let yourself onto an open angle like that.
No.
And it's Jazerk who's going to win the gunfight against the Gorilla. The Automaton wins in long range. I am sorry to tell you, my friend. And now it is going to be Brandon in the 1v3 to save their NACE Star League playoff spot.
If anyone can do it, it would be Brandon, but this is a tall task, not only because it is 1v3, but because bomb is down and they know exactly where it is. 24 seconds remaining. He's got to get moving here, got to try and find the kills. Finds the first one to Jazerk. Doesn't get traded out, but Hyper's waiting for him behind, waiting for that kill. Spots him out. No, he doesn't. He doesn't see him behind him. That's going to be it. Brandon taken down. Independence Community College is going to take the win here. Round 11, map 5, an absolute heartbreaker for St. Clair. That is going to be the end of their NACE Star League playoff run.
Yeah, wow, Hyper on the rotation here, waiting so patiently during that round until they finally get the intel on Brandon at the end. And wow, Brandon 14-7 that game. Big Head 15 kills there. But in the end, it is going to be ICC taking it all the way and moving on in this lower bracket.
Heartbreaking for us St. Clair fans, but nonetheless, absolutely incredible series for both of these teams. They both played their hearts out. All these players were out there trying their best. We could see that on the screen. We could see that in their play. And I mean, this series is absolute banger. We got to see something that wasn't Berlin or Tuscan. We got to see, and it went all the way to round 11 there. Absolutely amazing stuff. And I don't really have words for this. I think it's just the fact that, I mean, St. Clair's still a top 6 finish, which is very, very respectable, but they had this in their hands. It was,
I was going to say, like,
did. They had a chance
especially
to take
the control game.
I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to go. I would say you had that control game in your hand. You just weren't able to convert that into a win. And I think you're going to look back on that one and say, we could have won this series at that control and just weren't able to finish it off. And I mean, congrats to ICC. Absolutely insane stuff there. 2 5-game series in a row, they're able to win it out. So
yeah,
if anything says clutch, that's got to be clutch.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to be making it to Desert Siege at all, let alone 5-5 on Desert Siege in this crazy last round for everything, winner takes all situation. So exciting today here at the broadcast, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have any words for it. I mean, St. Clair, congratulations for making the top 6. ICC will be moving on to the next round, and losers going to be playing for that top 4. But yeah, that's going to be it. They still have CCL to play for, but that is the end of their NACE Star League run. A really respectable one. They made it really far in the winners bracket, lost Davenport through yesterday, and get taken down by ICC today, 3-2. Unfortunately, just it's tough too because you can't find your revenge against ICC here. ICC again going to triumph a lot closer in this series than it was in Cold War, but again, just didn't have that clutch factor to bring it out there in the lower bracket.
Yeah, unfortunately. ICC is going to be moving on in the lower bracket to face Bay State Call of Duty. So good luck to them. They played great tonight, and I'm sure they are going to try to take it all the way. But Bay State, strong team in their own right. So I'm sure that'll be on if you look around the Twitch. But yeah, unfortunately, Saints are going to fall. That is going to end their NACE Star League run here today in playoffs.
Yeah, so we got to finish up here, but again, banger series. Appreciate both teams. Really, really good job. But the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be our sponsors. We're going to talk about Crunchyroll, our sponsor that joined us in September. You can get a 14-day premium trial for free at crunchyroll.com/Saints. They got all you can look for. They got the Funimation library on that now. They just expanded. They got manga. They got anime. Whatever you're looking for, they got it on there. So crunchyroll.com/Saints. Get your 14-day premium free trial there. Check them out. They're wonderful sponsors, wonderful partners with us.
Yeah, and next, we can't forget about this wonderful Saints merchandise we are wearing. So comfy, so awesome. Over there on acquire.ca/Saints, they've got just about everything. They've got the jacket John is wearing beside me. They've got the crew neck I've got on myself. They've got jerseys. They've got hoodies, t-shirts, flags, masks. John's got one of the masks on right now. They've got just about anything you could possibly want. So don't forget to go check that out. acquire.ca/Saints.
I want to thank our other sponsors as well, Tim Hortons, Subway, the SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you for sponsoring us, allowing us to do what we do here at St. Clair Saints Varsity. And going to talk about our academy as well, our recruiting. You can apply now for our next year for the fall, up to 100% tuition scholarships available. Keep 100% of winnings. We have dedicated training facilities, aka our arena that's being built, and you have competitive and AM experience that is a plus for your applications. We also have the academy, which is 50 new scholarship positions available. Esports titles, whatever you're playing, it doesn't matter if it's a varsity title. It doesn't matter if there's an esports scene right now for it here at St. Clair. Make sure you go and apply with it anyway. We definitely look at those, and you can make it into a team for yourself. You've got Halo, CSGO, iRacing, Apex, a ton of more games that you can apply for, and any players are welcome to apply regardless of your rank. stclairsaints.ca/join to do that.
Yeah, don't forget to go do that. You can also hit !join in the chat, and that'll give you straight to the link there. So, yeah, if you want to become a Saint yourself, don't forget to go apply, because we are not lying when we say just about any game is available. But
definitely.
That's going to wrap us up for the night, John. It was great to be casting again tonight with you. What a close match. What a close series we had. But with that, any last words?
Good luck to ICC against Bay State. That's going to be a tough matchup. And St. Clair, a really good season in the NACE Star League. And you couldn't ask for a better last game of the season, honestly. So that is going to be, interesting. So that's That'll wrap it up, though. St. Clair's breaking my heart, unfortunately. They definitely... I was hoping for the revenge against ICC, honestly.
Yeah,
that's what we were hoping
and they almost had it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys just watched the series we watched. So close. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight. Congrats to St. Clair. They end up top 6 in NACE Star League. Congrats and good luck to ICC against Bay State there in the next round. That is going to wrap us up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Josh Fundy Pafundi, joined by John Billabang Zudima. We are going to be signing off for the night.
Has this ever happened to you? You tune in to watch Saints Gaming compete at your favorite title, but you end up missing it. Scrolling through Twitter to find results is just such a chore, and it looks like there's no easy way to find out everything you've missed. Luckily, there's a solution. Hi, Millie Bays here, and I'd like to introduce you to St. Clair's Bird's Eye View, the #1 show to keep up with everything about Saints Gaming. Get weekly recaps, see great highlights, hear exclusive interviews with players and staff, and so much more. That's Bird's Eye View, available in podcast or video form at a website near you.